is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Tonight we're going to be talking about a lot of different subjects, including where Kim is at. Apparently, he's not around to ask. So we're going to talk about that and other things, including our Earth and our ozone. Oddly enough, that's coming back up. We'll be right back right after this.
Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo.
Remember, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably from myself, Dex, and anyone who helps with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. This is a live call-in, so anything can happen, and I mean anything. All right. What is up, guys? My name is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Tonight, we are going to be talking a range of subjects, all the way from Kim possibly setting up a parade for his celebration of life, I guess you could say, to why they are still in Cheyenne Mountain, why people are in hiding in some cases. And we're going to try to do it as, as feasible, as true to fact as we possibly can. We back up everything we say here. In fact, you guys can actually follow along on our website. You can go to marfooglenews.com, and you will actually see that it is organized by thumbnails. So when you actually see this thumbnail, you can click on that, and it will go to every single video, every single tweet, every single article that we share here, so you can actually go and follow along. You can go back and double check my work. You can see where I got the source from. Again, this is also going to have the caller info by the end of the show. So if you call in right now, by the end of the show, your information will be there with any documents, pictures, videos that you might share. That is one of the great things, is you actually have an opportunity to share what you guys are thinking with the rest of our audience. We have anywhere from 2,000 to 10,000 watching. We just recently broke a record of 10,000 live viewers at the same time, which is absolutely nuts considering I started this doing videos out of my car on my breaks. So it really shows where you can go in about 2 years. Again, and I've encouraged people to do their own thing and to speak their own truth and really to get out there and try to change the world in some way. We have groups all over the country that are prepared. We had groups that met in all 50 states. Our Discord has over 15,000 people. Those groups are broken down sometimes in many groups per state. California, for instance, or Washington both have 6 zones. So those people actually meet on a bi-weekly, monthly basis, and they talk prep. They talk about all of the things they notice, and they're not considered crazy by the people meeting. That's the whole point. None of us are crazy. We are just curious. And there has been kind of a direction that the last 20 years especially, since technology has advanced, same with kind of pushing down any kind of, crazy or wacky narrative or even thought, freedom of expression. So we want to make sure that we are putting out accurate information, but at the same time, we should be able to ask questions and really talk about the things we notice. Okay, I'm going to bring Dex in. Dex is going to be screening calls. He helps me produce a show. He helps with all of the online stuff. He also has the ability, I have an entire screen to my left devoted to the callers, so he will be linking all the pictures, videos, archived articles that you guys end up calling in at 224400 Marf. Dex, are you there, and can we get a sound check?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
So we've already got a lot of people in chat in all platforms. It looks like we've got YouTube right here. We've got a bunch of new names in here. It's absolutely awesome how much we've been growing on all the platforms, including DLive. We have an awesome family over there. A lot of folks that never would have seen us if we never were on that platform. Again, we are trying to hook up with some other D-livers this week. We have some great things planned for you in the next week or so. We're trying to line up some interviews. We're also trying to troubleshoot some video stuff, so you guys will have an exciting time. Let's get it straight into it. Dex, obviously, the big subject on everybody's mind is where is Kim? And, if that's not a big subject, then people are probably not following exactly how important this really is that he is kind of missing.
Yeah, I feel like we're in a game of where's Waldo. We're trying to find him, right? And we're looking everywhere, and everyone has an idea.
Now, there's a story that just came out, and it says that the NK satellite images spark speculation plans for a massive funeral parade for Kim are underway. Now, these are essentially kind of temporary buildings that are normal for, some sort of parade or some sort of structure like this. It says NK is building large parade structures amid reports its leader Kim has passed away. Satellite imagery shows that the images published by Planet Labs shows temporary buildings commonly used for military parades being installed in capital Pyongyang sometime after April 18th. So there's actual satellite imagery essentially showing that there is something going on. If not, that means they are getting ready for a military parade for some other reason, and that would be no fun either. It says temporary structures have been installed at a parade site in the NK capital of Pyongyang. There's a lot of information coming out, and again, I would not really put your finger on anything and say this is true or that's not. Again, I'm not telling you, anything about this because honestly, you have to be at the very highest clearance level to even begin to know what's going on. Now, T-Man, our president, commander-in-chief, actually said that within a few days, everyone would know how he's doing. At first, some networks were saying that he had a heart surgery and that did not go well and that he was actually out of service. Or, a vegetable state. He was in a vegetable state, a vegetative state. And his brain was not working after the surgery. And that, of course, was covered by CNN, which a bunch of people on Twitter were like, no, that's because it was CNN. It wasn't only CNN. In fact, there were other networks before CNN that covered that. Now, not saying that they are right, but I'm not saying they're wrong either, because it does have financial ramifications if that is true. If he was in that state, which once South Korea first said this, somebody in South Korea said that, then they were kiboshed and said, don't say that, actually, we were wrong, it was critical, he's in critical condition, and now he's fine. It has financial ramifications on South Korea as a country. Again, the currency dived when they said that he was gone. Of course, the United States has a huge position in South Korea, defensively, militarily, and financially, because we are helping and we're tied in with military bases and all these things, because NK is kind of the buffer between not only, China and South Korea, but China and our allies and things like this. So if we are if we don't have that kind of, Dex, wouldn't you agree that if we have that, if that area is not a threat, or for some reason NK disappears, do you think that we would be spending the same amount of money on protection for South?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a big part of it. The other one I just recently found out about, and this is kind of interesting too. I believe I'm pronouncing the name right, Chung Se-kyung, who is the Prime Minister of South Korea. He was running on a campaign of unifying the two nations into a single peninsula. So he was pushing for this notion that him and Kim were going to get together and sort of solve their problems. And a lot of his campaigning, a lot of his position was based on the relationship with Kim. And if that's no longer there, it hurts him. So I think that might also play into it just as much as the financial aspect does.
And there's going to be a lot of things that are actually popping out over the next few days. And again, they say that we will know what is actually going on very soon. If he has indeed passed away, would you even believe that? Would you think maybe, I wonder if they gave him an option, they were like, well, by the way, the U.S. is going to take over your country and we're basically going to knock you into the Stone Age, or you can put on a wig and live in Florida. As somebody said, dude looks like a lady. I wonder if that's the case. I don't know. But if that was, would he open up some sort of mini-mart? I don't know. It's kind of odd that that they have actually suggested that in some of the meetings. In fact, about 3 or 4 years ago, they talked about if he was voluntarily going to give up his country, they said that there has been talks of actually protecting him from his own country. And you're basically talking about a witness protection program for Kim. That is pretty nuts. Where would they put him? The Ozarks? Can you see him in the background of the next HBO Ozarks episode? I don't think so. It says there is also reports that the secretive country is in the grip of a CV outbreak, meaning a mass military parade would seem unlikely, certainly in the coming weeks. Now, the dictator Kim has not been seen in public since April 11th. That's about 17 days ago, and now reports from the region claim he has passed away after a botched heart operation, which has caused a bunch of different memes. Of course, you've had the... oh my gosh, the Weekend at Bernie's meme where it has him in the middle instead of Bernie. You've also had a lot of people saying, who would you rather be, Kim or the doctor that failed the surgery on that? Probably not a fun position to be in if you failed that operation. It says that there is also speculation that the parade could be for the leader's funeral, similar to the incredible scenes in 2011 when his father, Kim, died. Kim Jong-il, of course. It says the rows of temporary structures likely used to house soldiers who will take part in the event have been installed at Pyongyang's Miram Parade training grounds. There were plans for a military parade in January. However, that event was scrapped because of an outbreak of CV. So maybe this is just an extension of that. Maybe he's going to pop out of the bushes and be like, I'm alive. We don't really know yet. But again, this was kind of the scene when his father passed. So they do things kind of epic. Statues and all, and humongous pictures printed in the 80s. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll be following it. If it is true, there are going to be some serious world changes that we know of, and it will have implications globally. That is for sure. Now, this is something else that I wanted to actually pop in here. Not huge news because I've already covered this. I've already talked about this. Of course, the 3 videos that came out of the UFOs that were flying around are now confirmed by the Pentagon, and everybody is on Twitter essentially on fire saying, oh, I can't believe nobody's reacting to this because they just confirmed UFOs are real. That's because a lot of people do have the right idea about this. They're essentially confirming UFOs or unidentified flying objects are real. They're not saying aliens are real. Now, this is a big deal in a way because Pentagon is actually officially saying that these videos are not only true, which I thought they already did, but they are 100% unidentified. So they don't know what it is, or at least publicly, they don't know what it is. A lot of the argument is saying that some people say they know what it is. It's a government, plane that nobody said. And then every single person to that answer on Twitter says, but the pilot said that they are breaking laws of physics. The pilots could be wrong when they say that, but if you see the videos, that would be against, modern physics. But what do we know about physics? We know that physics have been broken in the past. We've had discoveries in the last 50 years where physics have been bent or broken. A lot of the stuff that CERN is doing 20 years ago would have been considered absolutely crazy and not possible. So we don't know. I mean, honestly, knowledge is now doubling every day. That's an actual statistic now. The fact that the double of information is happening that fast, we have no idea what we're going to say. Some think that the doubling of knowledge is all just like, they're just making up stuff at this point. But some say that this is going to come into the age where we actually evolve as a society. I want to say is it Michio Kaku that talks about the type 0, type 1 societies or civilizations, saying that we could possibly go into the next tier or something? That the different types are described as kind of like, we've got Earth controlled, we have control of our solar system, we have control over planets and whatever else. Some say that with the quantum computer age, when that comes in, not only AI will take a huge part, and then all of a sudden we have AI running our lives, or we can actually evolve into a crazier society. So who knows? Quantum computing might even discover that physics are, totally elementary compared to what is possible. We don't know. Or that could all just be completely fake. We don't know. So we'll see. Again, when quantum computing comes down to the level where it's, easily accessible for, all countries and all of this, things are going to get really crazy if we even have a planet left, because quantum computing is going to take out simple things like encryption. There won't be such a thing. There will be no secrets, or at least, not secrets that somebody couldn't hack with a quantum computer. You're talking about doing millions and millions of passwords and encryptions in a second. Pretty nuts stuff. But again, this was MUFON. It says, this week history was made. # Pentagon officially released 3 Navy videos acknowledging the existence of UAP. And it says, and confirming that footage was taken by U.S. Navy fighter jets was authentic. So that footage, again, I thought was already confirmed authentic. But again, they are saying that, yes, indeed, that those were authentic and those are still unidentified. What is that saying? We still don't know. So just wanted to add that in there. It is news, but not news. I feel like we've covered that. It feels like deja vu, but it's something that, not everybody's going to know. This one is a very touchy subject for a lot of people. So all I'll say is this. They said that we had this incredibly large ozone hole in the atmosphere, and all of a sudden it's closed. It says the largest ever Arctic ozone hole developed this spring. So this spring, now scientists say it's closed. It says an ozone hole that formed over the Arctic this spring and eventually grew into the largest ever recorded there has closed. Scientists who were tracking the hole at Copernicus Atmospheric Monitoring Service CAMS made the announcement late last week, noting the, quote, rather unusual hole was caused not by human activity, but by a particularly strong Arctic polar vortex. So I guess, is that saying that it was like a tornado that was so strong it pulled down the atmosphere? I don't know if you know anything about this, Dex, but it seems like... No,
but that's what the description sounds like to me.
I'm just reading it the way that, most people are going to read it. At the same time, that has kind of brought this argument up on Twitter that means it was not created by humans and it wasn't closed by humans. So that kind of feeds that side that says, all of this stuff is fake and this and that. On that note, I think that people jump the gun a lot with not every piece of information. I know that it is the popular theory to say, warming and cooling, both of them are fake and this and I think I always stay reserved to wait until I absolutely know for sure before I say something. At least I try. And I think that everybody should. They, of course, were saying that we have 12 years before we get to the point of no return. Now, watch. I'm going to make a prediction here, and this is just a prediction and an opinion, that we may see an article come out by a very strong source saying that 12 years has been extended because of the event that has happened to us recently, saying that because we shut down all these factories, because we weren't using cars as much, because we weren't at industrial factories pumping out all this pollution, that it has pushed that back. And that would open up the doors for some theorists to say that maybe part of this was because of that, right? So, of course, I do believe that officially, though, they might say, and I think that there's no way to not say that if they're saying that humans are a big part of the pollution, that if all of these things were closed down, we've already seen official mainstream say that they are actually that China cleared up. All of the smoke and smog actually cleared up. LA had blue skies because everything was closed. People weren't driving as much. So that normal LA smog that was above there's tons of pictures online of these beautiful clear skies instead of that layer of smog right above the skyscrapers. So is that true? We don't know. Again, I'll let you guys decide that. As far as pollution, I would think that everybody staying in their homes and this and that would do something, but then some argue, well, cows are still out there pumping out methane and all sorts of other stuff. So, did it help? Did it not? It says scientists who were tracking the hole at Copernicus made the announcement last week, and it said that CV-19 and the associated lockdowns probably had nothing to do with this. And the associated lockdowns said it's been driven by an unusually strong and long-lived polar vortex and isn't related to air quality changes. So another thing is the argument that things that happen over that continent don't really mix with these things, and that, of course, there's the airstream, but somehow they've said that, things there, that this is the argument against, is that what we do here doesn't affect over there. So we wouldn't open up a hole over there if we were doing bad things here. If that's something you know about, feel free to call in at 224-400-MARF. It says, still, the hole was massive. Most of the ozone typically found around 11 miles into the stratosphere was depleted. The group said the last time such a strong chemical ozone depletion was observed in the Arctic occurred nearly a decade ago, so 10 years ago. It says a polar vortex is a large area of low pressure and cold air that surrounds both of Earth's poles. Now, that could even bring in, remember, around both of the Earth's pole, they say that the poles are now shifting. Not completely, but again, there is public knowledge that they've had to readjust all of the GPS satellite systems early because the poles were shifting faster. They were heading towards Siberia, or at least, was it the North Pole or the South Pole that was, I'm a little twisted up on my globe here. It was the North Pole, right? That was shifting towards Siberia? Or am I completely backwards? Either way, one of the poles was shifting super fast and actually did very erratic moves. If you look at where the pole was and how it's moved, they've done graphs, which we've shown you, that have kind of done this zigzag notion, and then it shot across. It started going faster and faster. That's why a lot of people on the internet and in this niche think that we are going to have some sort of cataclysmic pole shift. Is that true? Again, I'll leave that up to you. So with that, the ozone layer sits between 9 and 22 miles above the Earth. It protects us from ultraviolet radiation. So that is its main purpose, according to scientists. Now, again, let's see here. Let's go past this. U.S. CV cases top 1 million. Remember, there's 370 plus million folks in the U.S. as some states mull reopening non-essential businesses. Of course, Georgia, where Dex is, and Tennessee and some others have already reopened hair salons, nail salons. They have actually opened up tattoo shops even. Meanwhile, other states have actually extended their lockdowns, I believe. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So is it supposed to reopen? There's a lot of hashtags on Twitter that say reopen this state, reopen that state. We'll see.
Our mall is opening.
Your mall is opening, so you're going to have normal stores. Is that on May 4th, or when does that open?
I don't. Two of the malls have already opened, and the one that's near me is opening, I think, in the next week.
So that's kind of how we're lined up too. Washington State is lined up for May 4th. Of course, there's a lot of events that happen around then. As far as sales and things like this, they have a lot of May sales that they do at some of these big ones. So maybe a lot of these big companies played a part in trying. We'll see. It says the CV has now infected more than 1 million people in the United States as the nation grapples with roughly a third of all global cases. So a third of all of the world, the cases, is right here in the United States, according to this. So out of 3 million cases worldwide, a third of that is here. And it says, making it the worst outbreak in the world. Sorry, I should have done it like this. Making it the worst outbreak in the world. I felt like it wouldn't be the same without the echo. Sorry. According to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. A large portion of U.S. CV-19 cases remain in New York State, where Governor Andrew Cuomo is currently testing about 20,000 people a day for the virus and is working with President Commander-in-Chief to double that number, which, of course, in fact, they even asked him about questions, speaking of Commander-in-Chief. I don't know if you knew this, but he did a small business speech just a few hours ago, so he's not completely in hiding. Of course, the task forces have now been canceled, or they're not doing them for right now, and he did a speech where he was supposed to be talking about the small business payment protection program and all of these other things, but the press just basically asked him questions just like it was a task force meeting, and they asked him about how he's going to double these numbers, and he said that they're going to work through it and that they're going to pump them out, and that they've just gotten a bunch in and they're about to push them to all the states. Much debate about that, and of course that speech, if you go and look it up, was a very long one, and a good part of that was the press, and the press weren't even asking about the payment program. They were just asking other questions, including about some of the controversial comments that he made earlier this week. It says, the V has touched every state in the U.S., disrupting daily life for millions of Americans as state and local leaders have shuttered non-essential businesses to try to curb the pandemic, putting record numbers of people out of work. Some states are mulling reopening, but the U.S. officials said last week that they are preparing to battle two bad viruses circulating at the same time as the CV outbreak runs into the flu season next fall and winter. So it's saying that all of this at the same time, which they pop up with Robert Redfield, which we've talked about a bunch. His name has popped in and been injected in a ton of stuff. It says there's a possibility that, this is a quote from Robert Redfield, there's a possibility that the assault of the virus on our nation next winter will actually be more difficult than the one we just went through. So they're essentially kind of signaling that this is going to be just as bad or worse next year. So they're kind of setting us up for more pain. Now, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how the world ends up reacting to all of this. I want to get all of your guys' feedback. I'd love for you guys to put it in the comments down below or put it in the chat. Kelly Josie, Foogle fam rocks. Adam, happy birthday to you. It's actually tomorrow. Thank you. And I love I really do feel amazing about all of the people. Before I started this channel, I'd get a pair of socks. So thank you. Grant Mohike, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Redbird, happy birthday, Marv. And once it starts, it starts. Barefoot Lass, happy B-Day to you. Happy day to you. Sandra, I guess we could just keep streaming until midnight, and then it will be effective. Sandra, happy B-Day, Adam. If today or tomorrow. I love it. She remembered. Heavy Metal Mama, thank you so much for the generous super chat, and Sandra of $20. That's not necessary. Thank you so much. Becky Phipps, happy birthday. April Samph. Again, you guys don't give me anything tomorrow then. Happy birthday, Adam. Jesus is Lord. Love from Johnny Doom and Wifey. Well, thank you, Johnny Doom and Wifey. I'm guessing, April, you are the wifey. I've met Johnny Doom here many times. Sandy Stamps, happy birthday. Barefoot Lass was the last one out last time. So thank you, Barefoot Lass. I appreciate your constant, attendance here. You've been almost at every show. So thank you so much. Let's see here. I also wanted to pop over to DLive, PH3OT. I work at USPS sorting plant in letter hand sort. Okay, so there must have been something before that. I wish I could see it. It says, sending love from Missouri, says Miss Cat. Thank you for the diamond. I appreciate that. Don't hate the Nate. Thank you for the lemons. Vic Grew, Shy the Coffee, Johnny Doom, Seattle Starla. Looks like Johnny Doom and his wife are on both platforms, tearing it up. Cutthroat Mom, Diva Lack, DVD Lock, Auntie M. Thank you guys for the ice creams. Stiletti, thank you for the ice cream. Nameless Block, thank you. CK Freddy. And Global Impact, Candace 531, Short Giraffe, one of my favorite nicknames there. Plumber Bill, awesome. Thank you so much. Miss Cat, thank you for the birthday wishes. JK Hathaway, RV Living, PBJ, what is up? Thank you for the lemons. Nickname 56, Leslie Rod. D Live is buffering really bad. Well, I apologize about that. In fact, the entire internet has been really shaky around here. We've been checking the numbers quite a lot. Cutthroat Mom, Grant, Harper, Angela, 4110, Aussie's Walkabout, Michael, 44. I'm a fan for life. Shout out to my Foogle family. Go Hawks, thank you. Says you guys are awesome. Zelda fan, Mad Mike, Jesse the Kid, IR19, Seattle Starla. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. And Michael, 44, I see you. Let's see here. And then we've got China lashing out at the U.S., claims country is, quote, lying through its teeth on the CV, threatens Australia. Now, this is, of course, according to Fox News, one of the approved sources. It says China's foreign ministry is now on Tuesday accusing the U.S. of, quote, lying through their teeth. So this is an official comment through the Foreign Ministry of China, and suggested that the country mind its own business as the conflict of words between the world's two biggest economic powers has now escalated. It says, we advise American politicians to reflect on their own problems and try to do their best to control the CV epidemic as soon as possible instead of continuing to play tricks to deflect blame. Now, there has been many things said. There are so many debates on this, where and when it came from. We won't go over that this show, but I will say this. Of course, now people are investigating. It's formally going into the investigation of the $3.7 million that the U.S. gave that lab, and they're trying to figure out why they did that, especially for the kind of research that they were doing, and we found was dangerous and not really a good thing at all. So what part does the U.S. play in this? Should anybody be blaming anybody on this? That is definitely up to you, your opinion here. It says, and that again was the spokesman, Gang Shuang. Awesome name, Gang Shuang. It says the comment came on the heels of President T-Man suggesting in the conference on Monday that the U.S. would be seeking, quote, substantial compensation for China's handling of this pandemic. It says, this is T-Man's quote, we are not happy with China. We are not happy with the whole situation because we believe it could have been stopped at the source. It could have been stopped quickly, and it wouldn't have spread all over the world. And he says, he added that the United States is considering several options and, quote, hold them accountable. So we'll see what happens with this, and we'll, of course, follow what they officially say about this, and then we'll be going over it on one of our other shows. Please remember, marfooglenews.com. We put a lot of stuff that we would not put here onto our personal website, marfooglenews.com. So we'll see what happens there. If you guys are on your computers 24/7, you guys should be using a VPN. Either way, if you don't go through Nord, I would get something anyways, especially if you guys are working with some of our groups and doing all of the meetings. Again, cyber hackers are taking advantage of this event. Everybody is at home. Everybody's on the computers. And the more you are on your computer, the more you're on the internet, the more chances that you might make a mistake or click the wrong link. If you go to marfooglenews.com/VPN and put that code in Marfoogle, you will actually get over 70% off on their best plan. And not only that, you can actually protect up to 6 devices. So your kid's phone, your computer, your PC, any 6 devices that you want. and that's all included under one plan. Again, that helps the channel and it helps you guys. And again, that's how we got a lot of information out of China when they were really, striking down a lot of stuff. Of course, Megan's blog was getting out with a VPN. It was choppy, but she was still getting information out, including live streams from the streets. So, Dex, you put this in here. Georgia restaurants allowed to reopen as restrictions loosens. So they are actually saying that restaurants are open. Have you actually seen one open yet? And have you seen restaurants that haven't?
Yeah, I have not been into a restaurant. I know that there's quite a few that have opened, but it's actually really interesting. In this article, if people want to read it later, they can see there's a handful of restaurants, actually quite a bit, that are pushing back. And they're saying, hey, we're not going to open. And by the way, the governor didn't say you have to open. He's just saying you can open. But the interesting thing that I found, and it's not in this article, but this was a note I got from a restaurant owner, which I thought was really interesting. He thinks that the deal about this is really a money issue. And he says if the governor mandates that restaurants can be open and he chooses not to open it, if he tries to file his business interruption insurance, it won't go through, because he's allowed to operate and he's not operating. So therefore his landlord can demand all of the rent money and he can't fully operate, so he can't pay it. So he has a furloughed staff that's collecting unemployment insurance. He either has to have them come back to work or he has to let them go. But either way, when they come back, if they do get let go, they're then on his unemployment bill. So it goes on his tab. Right now, they're not on his tab, they're on the government's tab. So if things blow up again later, in other words, we get another bout of the CV, they are, because they're employees or they've been laid off by him, it's on his tab as well.
And
so he's,
instead
as
of
a
getting that
restaurateur,
program,
he's like, this is kind of frustrating because we're being told we can open, but we're in a position where it doesn't make financial sense to. And then there's ramifications to what we do with our employees. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because they're still going to have to go by the rules. They're going to have, a couple people in their restaurant at max. They're going to be hiring people, paying them hourly, and then everybody is going to expect that they are going to be, of course, working. But the people that he can't use, because he can only have 4, freaking customers in his restaurant, of course, that all those people that expect to be working, they're going to be laid off, but not under the business protection program getting paid by the government. They are going to be on unemployment, which he is currently paying for. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, that's how it works. And by the way, people who are getting the unemployment right now, my son is one of them because he works for a restaurant. He's making more off of than it is if he went back. So he's actually in a better position. And if he goes back, I mean, he does work, so he works part-time, just not as many hours. So he's getting the extra bonus, and it's actually more than he would make if they brought him back in to the hours he was working before.
I know that's the same for commission salespeople as well. I have a friend that owns a dealership, and he apparently says that nobody wants to come back to work because normally they could have a bad month and make minimum wage. They could have a good month and make really good money. But over the average, it's kind of closer to just over minimum wage. Whereas under this program, somehow they are getting paid about $5,400 a month. They're getting like $750 a week, and then on top of that, they're getting an extra $600 or something like that. And he said that it equals about $5,400, which here is actually not that much. What is crazy is that is here, that would be like half of that would go to rent, and then the other half would go towards like food and all that. But somewhere in Austin or Austin, Texas, or somewhere like that where everything's cheap, that would be absolutely crazy. And I believe it is judged on it's kind of the same thing all across the board in a lot of places. So it's not really equal. So these people don't actually want to go back to work. They're making more sitting at home hanging out than they would if they were working 12-hour days. So it's going to be very confusing.
You either get part-time unemployment or you get full-time unemployment. And then on top of both of those, whichever one you get the $600 from the Fed. So when you add that up, it does make a big difference.
Wow, that is incredible. By the way, Stefan Diaz, thank you. It says Adam and Dex, Mod Squad, ML2 all, and thanks for y'all. And then PT Trio T says, put your return address on your tax returns. Thank you. Go Hawks, thank you for the diamond, Michael 44. And then Blue Knight. I don't know why I did that, but Blue Knight just sent Aiden in Jet, which is too much, and I appreciate it. And obviously, thank you so much. Says, happy birthday, Adam. Been going through some rough times. Thank you for the Foogle fam for me to helping me get through my dark times. Love ya. Blue Knight, I'm so glad that you've stuck around for this long. You've been here for a long time. Again, through all of the different platform changes and things like this, you have stuck through. So thank you so much. And then Johnny Rax, happy B-Day. I've been around for a couple, many more. I got Foogle virus, John Raxness on YouTube. John Raxness, you've been here as well for a very long time, so I really appreciate it. Grace for you too. Happy birthday, Adam, 429. That's awesome. Thank you. Did want to say a big thank you to Amy R as well. I realized the other day I messed up and did not say the right name when I should have. Head Like a Hole, thank you for the diamond. C and D, or I could just read and it says Candy. Thank you for gifting a 1-month subscription. And then we've got Christina Broderick. Thank you. Happy early birthday. God bless our Marfia with you. Rod Karas says, what's up with the asteroid? So that is another thing that we're going to be talking about here in just a couple seconds. That is absolutely nuts. There's going to be a lot of craziness, I think, in the online world tonight, especially with the day coming up tomorrow. It's pretty wild. So we're gonna hit that again. Hence this thumbnail. Obviously, we're coming close. A lot of the main telescopes are now closed in the world, except for the ones that mostly the U.S. government controls. So there's been a lot of theories about it and a lot of talk. But again, some of the amateur sky watchers have said that they spot things, spot this, spot that, but none of us are really sure what's going to happen. If it was going to, I would bet that the Prez would not be speaking today somewhere like that. I don't know, though, because they can quickly get him down in just a few minutes to somewhere protected. In fact, Air Force One could fly him to Cheyenne Mountain if they wanted to in a matter of like an hour and a half. So we don't know. NS909, aka Nutsack909, did you hear about the Gate and U patent? Yes, and we've actually covered that. We've went over a bunch of different stuff. Granny C, thank you so much. It says, happy birthday, Adam. I hope you have a wonderful day. Granny C, totally not necessary and super appreciated. Thank you. And then Tim Walker, really love you guys. Can't think of enough thank you enough for what you and Dex do. Please keep it going. Sup, Foogles, love you all. Sandy Stabs, again, anything about the asteroid? We're going to be talking about that. And then Kelly Josie, thank you again. So it says the Lakers got federal aid and your corner shop didn't. It says in the pre-CV days, the Los Angeles Lakers was one of the most valuable and profitable sports franchises on the planet. Forbes estimated last year that the team earned $147 million in 2018 and would fetch about $3.7 billion in a sale, a trust controlled by the children of the late Jerry Buss, who of course passed away. He was a wealthy investor, owns a majority stake in the team. Other co-owners include Philip Anschultz, a billionaire with a broad portfolio of holdings in energy, real estate, media, entertainment, and other industries, so he is one of the true elites. Edward Roski Jr., a successful commercial real estate developer, and Patrick Soon Shiong, who owns the Los Angeles Times. It says the Lakers, as ESPN reported on Monday, received $4.6 million in bailout funds from the federal government as part of the $349 billion Paycheck Protection Program meant to backstop struggling small businesses sideswiped by CV. The Lakers operation has fewer than 500 employees, which qualifies it as a small business under the government's aid guidelines. So what? But the Lakers hardly seem as immediately vulnerable or without access to other resources, as you say, your corner grocer, baker, barber, or dry cleaner. The Lakers, undoubtedly aware of the wave of recent disclosures about unlikely companies receiving PPP funds, told ESPN it returned the $4.6 million. So, whoa. So they got the millions of dollars and they actually returned it? I mean, like, what are these NBA guys or what are these staff members? You know what I mean? Like, that sounds kind of crazy. These guys are all making extremely, extremely good money. Or does that go for all of the smaller staff members? You know, you're talking about the guys that are working normal jobs for that industry. You know, that I could see. But as far as, the NBA or some of those guys, does that count or is it the same thing? Do you know, Dex? It says the Lakers said it decided to disgorge the money after learning the entire $349 billion in federal aid was scooped up in 2 weeks. Wow.
Yeah, there's been numerous accounts of these big, larger firms taking the money or finding loopholes in which they can get the money, and then they're being scolded for it, and they should be giving it back. I think even Harvard recently had said they weren't going to, and then they got sort of scolded and said, okay, yeah, we'll give it back because they have more money than they know what to do with. And I don't know why they would be taking this grant that's meant for small business. But yes, there's this kind of stuff's been happening. It's unfortunate, but that's just what business does. They always look for opportunities, and when they fit into a certain, they fit within the guidelines, they tend to take that opportunity, even though they don't actually look at the real effects. Like, they shouldn't have been there. Like, Ruth Chris shouldn't have been getting this because it's a large corporation, even though their franchises are individual, and they could say, well, technically we could let them get it. We don't have to get it. So, that's the kind of stuff that's going on with this grant money, and it's not good because it doesn't really help the real intention is to help small business, which has, a small number of employees, and those are the ones that need to be staying on payroll, and they need to get the money to pay that payroll.
Well, so we'll end up seeing after this, and this is just another prediction, is that a lot of these businesses will end up receiving these. They will end up getting scolded after the fact, and there's not going to be really any punishment for it because technically what they're doing is not, illegal. It's not wrong, right? So will they get that? I wonder if companies, even platforms and things like this, some of the smaller ones, I wonder if they're affected by this or get this or things like that. It's just kind of nuts what is going on here. If you guys are missing notifications, remember, you can go to marfooglenews.com. Again, the website notifications are now available. Works with most all browsers and Android. iOS is still coming soon. I apologize. And look for the prompt or click the bell in the bottom right-hand corner. It will look like this red bell right here. And again, that will subscribe you to notifications. That means you won't have to depend on YT or any other platform for notifying you. One platform that actually is really good about it is DLive. I've gotten all of my notifications, at least, in my phone bar. But what I've noticed is some platforms will let you know the day after or the week after. I got a screenshot of somebody getting my notification for my April 10th show this morning. That's pretty bad. So again, go to marfooglenews.com. Up at the top, you will see alerts and Discord, and you will want to click that, sign up for it, or if it's in your browser, you'll just have to click allow Marfoogle News to send you notifications. Really, really easy. T-Man to order U.S. meat plants to stay open amid the pandemic. It says here that, of course, these meat plants are having all of the issues, and they are saying that they're coming up with some emergency plan because we are officially at the state where it's talking about a major famine that is on its way and things like this, and people are saying things like this. Is that true? Again, we don't have the God position on this. We can't look down on it. So It says President DT plans to order meat processing plants to remain open as the nation confronts growing food supply disruptions from the CV outbreak, a person familiar with the matter said. T-Man plans to use the Defense Production Act to order the companies to stay open as critical infrastructure, and the government will provide additional PPE for employees as well as guidance, according to this same person. The order sets a stage for a showdown between America's meat giants, which have been pressing to reopen plants, and some local officials and labor unions who have called for them to close. They're saying that their union workers are at danger by reopening these things, and they're saying absolutely not. So we might see a strike in the making. We don't know. We'll see as it goes along. It says the president himself has long agitated for Americans to return to work and restore an economy crippled by social distancing measures. So we'll see what happens with that. Thank you, Cindy Moore. Have a home daycare, and I can apply for those loans. So even a home daycare with, virtually a very small staff can get them. Get GT Thomas. Thank you. I appreciate that. Happy birthday. Thank you. Peacekeeper 2. Thank you. Amy RK Mini 70. Thank you for gifting a 1-month subscription to Andy C's Nibiru. I appreciate that. A lot of this whole thing with the social distancing measures, as far as some of the predictions by some of the experts, and we've, read about these, we've seen them in movies. These are extremely educated folks in the laws and in the rules that would have to go into place if something like this did hit. And we saw this before, even in movies like Contagion. As far-fetched as that movie seemed, there was real experts essentially telling them what would happen. They talked about social distancing and things like this in that movie. They talked about some of the things that we would possibly have to go through, like if it got any worse and if these meat plants actually shut down and we had a shortage of food, what would end up happening is they would call in companies, FEMA, federal emergency, and they would come in and they would actually give people meals. Would there be enough for everybody? As we've seen in the movies, and what they predict is that there would be not. So again, that's why we've said for 2 years, in fact, if you go look through our thumbnails and our titles, it shows you kind of what the main story of that was. A lot of it was because we saw kind of a foreshadow of this. They were preparing for it. And these were all from official documents of them, for the people saying that they were totally blindsided by this, that can't be said true. And even the, mainstream media, they say, we have been preparing for this. Dex, I can't remember what article it was, but there was an article that even said, and it was a mainstream, and they said that this wasn't a surprise. I mean, even Dr. Fauci said in 2017 that there would be a surprise outbreak. So, this is something that does happen in intervals. People didn't think it was going to be so exact. So pretty crazy. Of course, 100 years ago, we had the Spanish flu. Now we have this. What is the real deal with it? I don't think we will truly ever know. Check this out. Reporter caught wearing suit with no pants live on Good Morning America. Now, do you think that this was just a massive, publicity stunt, or was this a joke? Or do you think the guy was really thinking that it would cut off at his suit? It says, "Those are shorts, I promise," ABC's Will Reeves said after getting busted for only being partially dressed on camera. If this was...
That's funny.
If this was other people, Dex, that they would have been fired. They would have been kind of left out to dry. But again,
this is not the first one. I mean, all these people are working from home, right? And it's every time you watch the news, they might have an anchor, one person in studio, but every person that comes on, every guest, every whatever, they're all coming in on Zoom and Skype or whatever. And it's funny too, because they deal with the delay. Like we have this little mini delay, even you and I have it, and they have to deal with it on network television where they're not used to it. And they tend to talk over each other. But yeah, this is not the first scene. I saw another scene that was a lot more vulgar, where a woman was doing a shoot from her phone, and she was in her I guess her bathroom suite or whatever, but in the mirror through the reflection on the shower door, somebody happened to be in the shower. And you had to look really close, but you could see it. And you're like, why on earth would you be in that part of your house doing a remote on your Skype phone?
Yeah, especially on mainstream television. There might have been a publicity stunt. I do know that one of the anchors who did get canned, they're not talking about it. Apparently was going on a little tiny small news channel. I want to say it was in Memphis, but he ended up getting canned because he ended up having a adult film on in the other room, and you could see it through the doorway, and it was playing in his like living room area, and he was talking, doing a thing, but all that people could look at was the adult film playing in the other room. And that is the kind of thing that's not a joke, and it's not, nobody's going to laugh at that, or at least most people aren't. It's funny, right? But at the same time, when you are doing it on like a kid-friendly show and things like this, where's argument? I mean, when you see people like make one comment on Twitter and lose their complete, careers over something that might have even been a joke, when you do something like this on accident and there's no repercussions, that's when debates and drama starts. Recently, I know you probably don't follow this, but Twitch, there was a streamer named Alinity. Alinity accidentally showed a part of her Bazoom. Yes, I said Bazoom. And everybody was calling for her to get banned. What ended up happening is she got a 24-hour suspension, which I hardly see as a punishment. That's like, hey, go take a nap and come back. But she accidentally did it when she was sticking a pillow under her shirt. So a lot of people were up in arms because she's done several other things, like, supposedly fed her cat alcohol and tosses her cat and all sorts of weird things. So when people do this kind of stuff, if he truly is wearing shorts, it's not that big of a deal. It's funny. But again, what if they do it on purpose? I guess it's up to opinion on that one.
Well, I can assure you, I have had a business shirt on with jogging shorts on Zoom before for a meeting. So it does happen when you work from home. But yeah, if you're on network television, you should definitely check the frame and make sure where things are cut off.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I always have it cut off right here. In fact, yeah. And that's why I never stand up. Either way, Russian commandos jumped from 33,000 feet over the Arctic in unprecedented exercise. So why are they doing all these exercises? Why is the U.S. doing all the elephant walks? Why are they taking all of the boomers off of Guam? That's something that some think is a signal that we might possibly be preparing for some sort of huge conflict. Now, that's not just me saying that. That's a lot of mainstream articles, but that's also looking at kind of the facts of things. Russia has prepared their internet to be completely separated. Last year, they did a massive drill, one of the largest ever, where they put basically 1/3 of their population and I believe 40,000 at least into bunkers down below the city as part of a drill. At that same time, there was a lot of propaganda being put out on their TV telling people what to prepare for during a nuclear event. Even the regular news, which these clips are all public, you guys can go look them up, they were talking about what food stays the longest and what would last through a nuclear winter. So they were telling this, just like you were watching our local news, which is usually saying like, they're mad, they're putting speed bumps in the local school. They're talking about, you need canned beans to survive a nuclear winter. So it says that the exercise highlighted Russia's ability to rapidly deploy special operations forces in inhospitable Arctic and pretty much anywhere else. So these guys are kind of their badasses, as you will. And it says a task of Russian special operators and paratroopers recently conducted an unprecedented high-altitude airborne training exercise in the Arctic. with some personnel jumping from IL-76 candid transport aircraft flying at close to 33,000 feet. So a normal kind of like plane jump is done, I've never done it, but around 10,000 feet. These guys are up where commercial airliners fly, and, you know, you essentially, if you lost any air pressure in the plane, you would need oxygen masks. So these guys were doing some serious stuff. Why are they doing it that high? I've heard theories of them doing it that high because, you know, people wouldn't be able to detect them if they were going into a hot scene. It says, this is yet another high-profile demonstration of Russia's steadily growing capabilities in this ever more strategic region, and showed off its ability to quickly send Special Operations Force there or anywhere else. It says the 3-day exercise took place last week on Alexandra Land, an island in Russia's Franz Josef Land archipelago. It says, which sits on the Arctic Ocean, well above the Arctic Circle. Russian Special Operations Forces, often referred to as collectively as Spetsnaz, from both the Military Special Operations 4th Command and the Federal Security Services Special Purpose Center, took part in the event. Together with Russian Army paratroopers, the drill itself included troops setting up a base camp once on the ground, conducting reconnaissance patrols using snowmobiles and drones, and launching a raid on a mock camp filled with, quote, saboteurs, a term Russia often applies to T-cells or other small groups of hostile actors, including enemy special or operations teams. So this was quite an exercise, and this was a lot of guys. It says today, quote, for the first time in world history, we conducted a group landing of personnel with special parachute systems in the Arctic conditions from a height of 10,000 meters. Using oxygen equipment followed by combat training missions. Russian Deputy Defense Minister Lieutenant General Yanis Bek-Yukharov, who was on hand of the exercise, said, quote, nobody has done such a thing before us. So I guess that's saying that even our special teams haven't done it in this kind of weather, at that kind of heights, in this kind of situation. I guess that's what they're implying. So it says that they have released video footage of the exercise on their local TV. Why? Is it saber rattling? Is it something else? I guess we will find out. If you guys haven't joined our Discord, it's very easy to do so. You go to marfooglenews.com, and then you end up going up to the top to alerts and Discord. It's the same place you go for our Marfoogle alerts, which, again, is free. We don't send out many. In fact, we haven't sent out one in a couple months. We send out articles. We send out news about what's going on. Or in the case of if we absolutely 100% know something's going down, we'll let you know through that system. There's Creators Corner, which is set up for people like you to start a channel and start telling what you think of the world. And then, of course, there's the exclusive military group. We have almost 500 active and retired military personnel in that group. And again, that is something that we pride ourselves in. So thank you guys for all your service. You have a place to go to talk to other military. And then, of course, we have the state groups, which, again, all 50 states. We are adding countries and different cities around the world. If you guys watch me, if you're in a city and we don't have a group in there, please let us know. And in most cases, we will add it. I believe we even added, what was it, Cayman Islands or the Caribbean, because people were there watching and they wanted to meet weekly. So, marfooglenews.com. It's right there and ready to go. Troubling trend, CV deaths doubled in LA County over last week. This is essentially saying that it is not going well there. This is, of course, from the LA Times itself. It says the number of CV people that have passed away in Los Angeles County doubled in the last week amid new evidence that the poor are being hardest hit, according to the County Health Department. Sorry. As of Sunday, the county had recorded 916 deaths and nearly 20,000 confirmed cases. To compare, we have, I want to say a lot more than that. Well, actually, no. We have 14,000 and we have 749 official marked people that have passed away due to CV here in Washington. So it would seem that they're not, compared to New York. New York's got crazy numbers according to the media. This doesn't seem like it is as bad as there, but it seems like they are saying it is getting worse. It says officials said that the rising numbers underscore the need to stay indoors as much as possible, and also raise questions about when Los Angeles County will be able to ease its strict social distancing rules. So just a prediction, I think that LA is going to extend whatever they have, and in fact, they've extended already. You guys in LA might not see a lot of freedoms just yet. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of groups that are gathering and kind of fighting this, as we've seen in previous states, that they have kind of fought against it or did a protest, and then they, of course, report numbers get worse, and then again they extend the time that they're held down. So other states, in fact, we've seen this publicly and on Twitter, fight anybody coming up to say protest it. Other people come forward and go, if you do, then we'll be here even longer. So it's kind of deterred other states from doing the same thing. Michigan was one case of that. Smoky Mountain Gal, lemon fight for Marf's B-Day. Throw them if you got them. Thank you, Smoky Mountain Gal. You don't have to do this, especially you're a mod. You guys do enough as already. Blue Angels and Thunderbirds did a flyover in New York City. So remember the whole Blue Angels thing. There's been stuff going around on Twitter of the pictures of the two sets of them, and one is kind of spraying and one's not. And there was some pretty crazy memes. I would definitely recommend going on to Twitter and checking out what they have said about a lot of that. Let's see here. Angela, King Cuts, Lisa Causey, Jen B. Cox, James 89, Amy, a.k.a. Mini 70. Thank you for the lemon. I appreciate that. One Adam 12, Chips Are Falling. Thank you. Fan X. And then we've got BJ Blake. Thank you. Bear Lover 92,000. Real Seb. Dude, what is up? Thank you. You don't have to do that too. I really appreciate the creators that come out and support others. If you guys haven't checked out Real Seb, please do. The guy is really funny. He has cracked me up on several occasions. But yeah, anyways, go Hawks, End Times, Anti-M. And then we've got End Times. Thanks again for your continued support. Ninja Nurse, J-Star Oregon, The Dex. Thanks, Dex, and Marf. GT Thomas, what is going on? Planet Anna, Girl, thank you guys. I appreciate that. If I missed somebody, I apologize. Rubby Blonsky, been a long time watcher, so glad I found you guys. Bones, my man, my mod there, thank you. You know you don't have to do that. Priscilla, Angela, and Dudio. I love it. Redbird, thank you. Please wear pants. Something could fall, might have to jump up. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Thanks, dude. I love it. Redbird, because if you guys have watched this show long enough, you've probably seen my old setup actually fell completely on top of me, and I actually had to jump over the desk to miss one of my huge lamps. So if I wasn't wearing pants in that situation, it would have been really bad. In fact, it would have been like a Superman. Anyways, I won't give you the image. Probably already did. Della W, thank you. Ilea, I forgot that you were a fellow Taurus. I will be turning 40 on the 13th. Well, you don't look a day over 39. Much love to everyone. Ilea, I appreciate that. And no, you look much younger than that. I wouldn't even tell that to people. Deanne Davis, happy birthday, Adam. PrepSmart, Walmart, and Sam's Club are telling their stores to downplay the meat shortage and to not create panic buying. Well, that's actually, the thing is once they say that, if they say that there's an official shortage, people are going to go out, they're going to have 4 people go in from one household, buy as much meat as they limit it to, and totally clean out places. I've already seen it. I saw one family. One guy came out with the allotted amount of everything, and then they sent the mom in. We were sitting out in the parking lot. We watched them do this 4 times. again, we try to go in one at a time, especially at our local store. They're numbering the amount of people that go in. So we saw this family do it 4 or 5 times, and literally even the 13-year-old kid went in and got their allotment of stuff. So they came out specifically with hamburger meat, toilet paper, paper towels, and they did it in such a way that they got the max amount. Now, I could see why, some of the limitations, if you have a family of 5, that's not going to be enough. But the amount they came out with, it's like they could have just, done either the limit or 2 people and then come back tomorrow or something like that. By the time my wife got back there was no meat. Again, that was at one of the local places. There was the gross, weird artificial hamburger meat or whatever. It's like 0%, fat or whatever, super expensive, but also, you know that they're doing genetically modified stuff to those cows to get it like that. So we just ended up saying, we'll fix something else for dinner.
Can you get toilet paper?
No, I still haven't seen toilet paper.
No,
paper towels.
I was so thrilled. So we still can't get it in the stores, but we actually ordered it on Target and got it. I couldn't believe it. And it was out 5 minutes later.
Well, you know what though? The one time that we did the 7 a.m. thing, so a lot of stores, what they're doing is at 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. or the first hour or the first 2 hours of the day, they are making it for older people, anybody with pre-existing conditions, or anyone who is pregnant, then can go in at 7 to 9 a.m. And, during that time, you can actually get stuff. So what is crappy, though, they don't check those people and they end up doing it. Just everybody goes in at that time when, they should have left that for the other people. So that was quite a big deal. Of course, we qualify for that. So we ended up doing it the one time. We did get toilet paper, but the thing is at the very beginning of this, we did not need it because we went crazy. In January, we got as much toilet paper as possible. The one thing that also was out, which I am still thankful to people like Kelly and to others that actually sent wipes. We could not get wipes for a month straight. I mentioned once on stream, and at least 2 people sent at least 3 or 4 big Costco packs of wipes to the P.O. box. So I actually,
that's awesome.
I actually kind of broke down on stream because it really did mean that much, and I was just I was really impressed with the fact that I barely mentioned it and people sent it. It was I know that there's a lot of really good people in our audience, and people that have followed for a very long time, and I don't know, it feels like there's family that you've never met out there. Honda Janik, Marf, you are the best time of my day. I describe you as winsome. Does that make any... Oh, handsome. I don't know if you meant handsome, but does that make anybody blush? Don't worry, because I'm a solid 63 years old now. But Adam, you are the very best among many mediocres. Win some. I get it. Win some, lose some. I love it. Honda Janik, I appreciate it. Justin True, mahalo. What is going on from Hawaii? Aloha and happy birthday, brother. Thank you, Justin True. Lady Green Eyes, can't get Discord to work. Tried 4 times, praying for Canadian Marf rooms so we can gather to talk and help each other. I think that should be done. Well, if it's not, it's going to be. I don't stream, but HV room have room to type in for Canadians. Okay, so if there's a Canadian province that you guys want to have, please let us know and we'll add it. That is not a problem at all. You guys have your own set of problems up there.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Okay, good. Matt Francis, thank you. I appreciate that. Della W, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Prilby, Latanya Heaton, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. And Tim Walker says a lot of strange things in the skies of South Central Kentucky. Video coming soon. By the way, happy B-Day, Marv. Tim Walker, I'll be waiting. I'd love to see it. Susan Donahue, thank you. As always, without fail, happy birthday, Eve Adam. Hope your day is as special as you are. But you didn't put Team Humanity. We'll all get through this together. I love it. changing it up. Christine Broderick, happy early birthday. And, of course, Rod will get to that. Perfect. There is just so much going on at the same time. Let's see here. And then why? Okay, wait a second here. San Francisco counties extend the shelter in place. So this is exactly what we were talking about. Orders through the end of May. So now you're looking at a whole nother month. Is that justified? Do a lot of people agree with that? If you're in San Francisco, what do you think? Is there anybody in chat that is in San Francisco that believes that that should be the case? Again, there's groups in San Francisco that we've heard of, we've covered, and I've even retweeted some of the stuff that's going on there. And you can see that a lot of people are not happy about this. At the same time, some are saying, let's just get it done. Let's get it over with. Let's stay at home. If everybody was staying home instead of, some houses throwing frat parties and barbecues in their backyard, then, they wouldn't have an excuse to do this. It says a group of San Francisco area counties are planning to extend shelter-in-places orders through the end of May as health officials work to address the outbreak of the CV. The directives, which were initially set to expire on May 3rd, will ease restrictions for a limited number of low-risk activities. Public health officers in Alameda, Contra Costa, Marin, San Francisco, San Mateo, and Santa Clara counties said in a joint statement. Now, my sister is in the Santa Clara? Yes. No. She's in the San Mateo. And she was one of the first ones before they even publicly announced it. She was able to tell me that they were going on their initial lockdown. So again, we'll see. I'll ask her, what's going on down there and get a personal, firsthand statement of what's kind of going on outside of her doors. It says, but the officials stress that, quote, prematurely lifting social distancing requirements could easily lead to a large surge in cases. And they say that that has deemed true in some places. Again, that is something that you guys will have to look into. Why NASA plans to slam a spacecraft into an asteroid. Funny timing on this, Dex, don't you think? Now, this is actually this is from National Geographic, and I've talked about this for 2 years. In fact, I'm gonna go real quick, and I'm gonna show you guys. This is something that I've talked about, and I wouldn't say worried about. I just knew from some of our military group saying that this was an important thing on the docket. Let's see here. I think it's... Man, and if you go back, like, really early stuff, and I'm talking like...
From past to present.
Yeah, I gotta change that so it doesn't just go off. I always go to other people's channel, and I'm like, why do they have that on? And, of course, I have it on. I don't know if I still have my earliest stuff on here. I know that some of it, during the early adpocalypse ages, we had to change some things, but I'm pretty sure it's still here. Now, we talked about the hammer and look at this. Man, this one, check that out. KZ, and I'll just say it that way. Satellites, what is Space Force? This was at the beginning of that. There was a lot of really good videos back here, and if you look back through, that was even at my old place too. Who got the boot at CERN? You can actually see we talked about the hammer and the different programs, and I actually went in depth on all of the stuff that they were planning for asteroids. And that's what's really crazy. If you look at this, the moon is in peril, all sorts of crazy stuff back here. Look at this. 1 year ago, and I said I called it a year ago. FEMA prepares for asteroids, NASA. Again, I've been talking about this for 2 years, and it's just really crazy. And then, oh my gosh. And then look at this. Military, this was third phase of moon called in. That one was a really good episode. There's a lot of crazy stuff that's happened over the over this. I remember this was before even they were just barely talking about the wall. Man, there was just so much crazy good stuff back here. Oh my gosh. Just brings back memories going down this. Oh, there was stuff back then where all the flights were canceled, everything was going down.
This is not juggling. This is
No, do not play that audio. I'll end up pulling it up. I'm going to show you on one of our next shows. You're going to have to see exactly what we said about this, and think about that think about this article when you end up seeing what I show you. It says, an enormous asteroid big enough to leave a 6-mile wide crater and darken the world with dust if it hit Earth will harmlessly zip by our planet on April 29th, tomorrow. The object, called 1998 OR2, is at least a mile wide. It's a little bit bigger than my arms, but it's a pretty good way to say it. It says, while it poses no threat, this is what they're saying, it will pass within 4 million miles of our planet, close enough to be classified by NASA as potentially hazardous, because it will continue to make close passes to Earth in the future as both objects orbit the sun. It's just a whopping big asteroid. This is big enough to cause an extinction. It's actually, it says Amy Manzier of the University of Arizona, one of the planet's leading scientists in asteroid detection and planetary defense, says, quote, it's smaller than the thing thought to have caused the extinction of the dinosaurs, but it is easily capable of causing a lot of damage. An asteroid passing relatively close to Earth is more common than most people realize. Every year, dozens of asteroids that are big enough to cause regional devastation pass within 5 million miles of Earth. The cutoff for potentially hazardous asteroids, on average, 1 or 2 space rocks large enough to cataclysmically impact a continent pass each year. So they're saying all of North America could be cataclysmically damaged, just knock out all of North America, or all of Antarctica, or all of any continent, right? Africa. Pass by once a year. Zip by and don't hurt us. That's what they say. I know that there's arguments about if it even exists out there, but I'm just telling you guys what they say. Earth will almost certainly confront a space rock large enough to obliterate a city, or worse, at some point in its future. So they're saying that it's futile, that it will happen. And it says if humans are still around when that day comes. It would be prudent to have a plan for protecting the planet. That's why NASA is launching a spacecraft next year to conduct the first test of one promising strategy for stopping a killer asteroid. Hit it while it's still far enough away to alter its course. The Double Asteroid Redirection Test, DART, which they've already done some stuff with, will slam a spacecraft into a smaller of 2 asteroids orbiting each other. And this was Didymos, I believe. Any change in the smaller object's orbit will be easy to measure from Earth and will provide a good indicator of whether it has been successfully deflected. Quote, it's an exciting time, says Ed Lu, a retired NASA astronaut and a founder of B612 Foundation, which sounds like a vitamin, a nonprofit devoted to asteroid detection and deflection. Says, I think DART's going to be a tremendous demonstration. The crowded solar system, the first step to stopping a killer asteroid is finding it. There are literally hundreds of thousands of asteroids out there, and we want to separate out those we should keep a closer watch on and monitor over time. NASA's planetary defense officer says. So far, he says there are 2,078 potentially hazardous asteroids in the catalog. Traveling nearly 20,000 miles an hour, 1998, this is the one that's passing by tomorrow, will pass within 4 million miles of our planet this week, or roughly 16 times farther than the moon. Farther, not closer. While this distance is no cause for concern, it says 1998 OR2 will continue its 3.7-year orbit around the sun, venturing into the asteroid belt beyond Mars and circling back into Earth's orbit on each lap. One way it was explained to me is when, the old school jet skis that before they got all nice and fancy, they were these things that you had to first lay down on and then stand up on. I actually almost killed myself on one because I went out about a mile, did not wear I didn't wear a life jacket, and I was not a very good swimmer. I had no idea. The guy who loaned it to me never told me that they circle back and each time they can get closer. And if you miss the first 3, then it starts getting into a bigger circle. I didn't know that, so I used up all my energy trying to swim to it and realized it went behind me because it was going to where I jumped off at. And barely got it, and literally barely got into the beach. I literally laid there coughing and just like thanking God that I was alive. But again, somebody explained it like that it does come back around, and it will come back either closer or farther anytime. And some have said that this will be one of the latter, that it will come closer every time that it comes back around. So if it doesn't hit us now, it very well has a possibility of hitting in the future. So that's why things like this, they want a plan for. And they have planned, and I've covered this through the 2 years, HAMMER, Hypervelocity Asteroid and Mitigation Emergency Response Vehicles, which is essentially a nuke on a rocket. Those have been developed by every country, including Russia and China. China has leaned more towards a laser system, and then Russia has now adopted that laser system, and they even say that they want to put a laser on the moon. Again, now in this lifetime, or at least in some of the younger folks' lifetime, we are going to see public, cries to put things on the moon. So bases on the moon, most people actually think, in fact, they've done surveys, think that there's already Space Force on the moon and that there's already soldiers up there. Back to the 80s, you had extraterrestrial soldiers in the docket that leaked out, right? So if they're extraterrestrial, that means they're not on Earth, that they would be up there. And again, we're not talking about aliens. We're talking about soldiers sent up there. Secret space program stuff, a lot of stuff that was held back from the public. A lot of this stuff has leaked and come to light, especially with the Edward Snowden thing. There was some mention of that in that. So with this, tomorrow, my opinion on it is it's up in the air. I don't know. A lot of the panic thrown around this is that all of these high-profile CEOs were leaving their posts. I mean, you're talking about now over 3,000 big league, and I'm talking about the elite of the elite leaving their posts, like the CEO of MasterCard. You're talking about Disney left, and all these other guys, AT&T. You had Hulu. You had Microsoft step down from any board that he had to keep showing up at. And this is just to name a few. Virgin. These are big companies. A lot of online companies, especially a lot of the bigger ones, they had people step down. Some of the social medias over the last year had people step down, including Instagram and things like this. So, and then celebrities, some of the celebrities that they consider kind of friends with the elites. Some said that Jay-Z and Beyonce, who are best friends, or at least admittedly really good friends with Obama and his wife, they did some weird schedule rehauls. Madonna and Ellen and some of these that actually rub shoulders with some of the highest up people out there have had some weird schedule things, and people have had to question it. And that's exactly, the thing that we're here to do. As far as this one tomorrow, what would there be for us to do if this thing was going to hit tomorrow? Would we have time? We would have had to know about it much earlier than this. I mean, as crazy it sounds, but if you've ever seen one of these asteroid movies, they actually have experts talk about like what would really happen. You can kind of see the estimate of what would happen if something hit. The most accurate to date, and this is coming from experts saying that they have seen some of the stuff in the Greenland movie that is set to release in June, which is funny because there's this whole debate about why they are not showing the trailer to a movie that's coming out in just a couple months. Usually, they pump the trailers for a year up to the movie. and they pump it out, and they want everybody to share it. They want people to criticize it. They want people to critique it. They want buzz about their movie. This trailer, they have been copywriting and taking down anywhere it shows up. If somebody puts it up, they take it down. I've seen 2 channels get deleted. We had Foogle fam put it up, and then, of course, it was removed by the studio. So the studio was saying, do not put this up. This is a movie that's set to release in June with Gerard Butler. It's an end-of-the-world flick. It has, of course, the main plot of the film. The trailer by itself is so alarming because the sounds used are the emergency alerts, the scenes of them all sitting around a couch. It kind of reminds you of what our families are doing now with the task force meeting. You know, everybody's sitting there watching with every word, kind of like what's happening next. And they show it hit the ocean and a video camera, and they go, where's the impact? Then they feel a shake, and he walks outside. And they're, you know, from the context of it, they're states away. And this huge just blast of energy comes around the corner and knocks the guy off his feet in front of his house. That kind of stuff, experts have looked at and said that's exactly what would happen. They've also looked at if that happened, there would be all of these volcanoes going and rising up. There would be earthquakes. There would be all sorts of shifts in the tectonic plates if something hit that hard. So it's not a good scenario for anybody. Here is one thing. They have actually done serious drills just not even that long ago. I would say it was about last year. Dex, I don't know if you remember this, but they tested New York. They did a simulation of how New York would do if they had 3 days to evacuate. In fact, I'll just pull it up, quoting incorrect information. You will see that they actually did this drill, and they failed horribly. So check this out. Let's see. It says, why NASA just destroyed a simulated New York City with an asteroid. This is from NBC News, so you know where it's coming from. It says, why NASA just destroyed a simulated New York City with a huge fake asteroid. And then, of course, there's the documents that people have sent in saying that it is a drill and it's kind of a fake. And it kind of points out a simulation kind of like what we have in real life with some of these ones that have been talked about. It says, don't panic, it was just a test. A make-believe asteroid 200 feet wide just plowed into a simulated New York City, sent there by NASA as part of an exercise to study what might happen if astronomers found a giant space rock heading towards Earth. If the collision had been real, the city would have been hit with the force 1,000 times more powerful than the nuclear bomb dropped on Hiroshima, leveling buildings from Central Park to Lower Manhattan and causing up to 1.3 million perished. It says a fictional cataclysm was the culmination of a week-long tabletop exercise conducted by the Biennial Planetary Defense Conference, which was held in Washington last week. The conference attracted dozens of astronomers, academics, and disaster experts who have been eager to understand how the authorities might react to news that a killer asteroid was headed our way, and to what extent space missions and evacuation plans might mitigate the damage. So again, they talked about a mass evacuation, and here's where we failed. They could not get anybody evacuated, or at least not everything got jammed up. As many people know, New York is one of the worst places to be if something like this was to happen because of their roadway systems. It says scientists said that the city might have been spared had there been more than 8 fictional years to plan space missions to knock the asteroid off course from Earth. Do you guys get that? 8 fictional years. They had 8 years to plan, and that wasn't enough. It says, quote, I think the exercise illustrated how time is the most valuable asset when it comes to asteroids hazards. A professor of planetary science at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and a participant in the simulation. In reality, having many decades of warnings gives us multiple options and multiple tries to prevent the catastrophe. So with that, what is being said here is that we need that much time to even have a go at it. So say Atlas, right? Discovered by Atlas, whatever that stands for. It's like the last chance kind of, we found an asteroid. They discovered Atlas, which is half the size of the sun. Half the size of the sun back in December. And it would be coming by around the same time, and then it would be looping back by. Would that be enough time? Absolutely not. And they know this because of simulations, but not only that, from real life. How much time would it take for them to get it there? And how much time do they need to deflect it? They would need to be way far out. We're talking about astronomical units out to use any of their plans. You're talking about kinetic impact. You're talking about gravitational. They have plans of flying a spacecraft that's large enough to actually have kind of a little bit of gravity, flying it next to it for not like days or months. We're talking about years or decades, flying next to it and being able to slightly pull it off of course the entire time. So just enough to literally put it a centimeter off per month, and enough to actually guide it into a different course. See, the thing is it's like a crossroads. The crossroads is where we meet. They need to slow down one of the cars or speed up one of the cars. So they need to make sure that this is slowed or this is slowed. Can't really slow down Earth, so you would either have to speed up the asteroid, which they've also talked about putting rockets on the asteroid so it actually goes in front of us. But again, if it's a large enough asteroid, it could have its own gravity, and then they could actually grill into each other. Then they've talked about kinetic, where they blast it and try to knock it slightly off course. If it's big enough, then even our largest explosives on Earth won't even touch the thing because of the momentum it has. Some people go, well, why wouldn't 20 nukes just hit it and it should just fly away? That's not exactly how it works according to, the science of it, because it's supposed to, it's so big that even if you did that, the speed it's traveling at, 20,000 miles, it would do nothing to it. So that's what I have, we've talked to different scientists. I've talked to earthquake experts. I've talked to asteroid experts. And I have, interviewed some of these people, and they say, we would have little to no chance if we didn't have at least 5 years. And they're saying more like 10 and hopefully decades. So again, what would we do? In this case, I would pray, and I would head to your higher power and repent in whatever way possible. As far as tomorrow, what are we to do if it was to hit tomorrow? I would think that it would be a good way to live if you lived like every day had a fictional asteroid hitting tomorrow. Because, those aren't just cliche sayings. We should all live in today, and we should all live like it's our last. And that doesn't mean sell your house and go to, Las Vegas. It means care about the people around you like it is your last, because we have no idea when we're going to check out. And if it wasn't for the fear of death, people would live a whole lot differently. That's just my opinion on it. I don't know. It says, End Time says, call me in 5 hours or I'll see you at the gates standing in line with everyone else. Hashtag God's plan. Whoa, End Times. Jeez, Louise just sent a ninjet. We needed some sort of sound effect, and I accidentally muted. I think we need a better sound effect for an ninjet.
I know we do, but it was there. I was just muted. Sorry.
Can you do that one again? Yeah, we need a better sound effect. That's okay. It worked. It did its job. F Extended Love Q, thank you so much. Jacqueline, thank you for the lemon. Yulon Cadet, thank you. Fed Up in Indiana says, love being considered, quote, Foogle fam. And, that's because the people around you actually care. I mean, have you seen how much people have helped each other in the Discord? I mean, we're talking to the point where I don't even want to say it because, people take advantage of the kindness of our Foogle fam. It's unbelievable. Michelle K. won't see Asteroid in Chicago. Rain. So you guys have bad weather. Yeah, and a lot of people don't have the skies, especially with kind of what has been going on. Was that a false alarm? Amy R.
Oh, no.
AKA
it wasn't false.
Mini 70. Another Ninjet. Live today well, Adam. Live today well. Thank you, Amy, and thank you, End Times. Thank you guys for supporting us through all of this. Of course, we pass it on and we try to support as many small streamers as possible and big streamers alike. So thank you guys. We really do appreciate it. Yeah, I can't say thank you enough to you guys. Angela 1609, thank you so much for the lemon. AC Truth Tiger, thank you guys for the lemons. Johnny Doom, Sly the Coffee, Genghis, Cutthroat Mom, Enchanted Bayou, Gentle Moss, Sly the Coffee, Renegade Petey. You've got Sky Vision, thank you so much for the diamond. Says be happy. Head Like a Hole says birthday Comet Adam. Tup Pup. Okay, we are officially in the Twilight Zone. Tuck Pup going rogue in the next 2 weeks. Not sure where, but I'll be on my way. Oh my gosh, there's more to it. Thanks for keeping the fam up to date. Peace and love. Thank you, Tuck Pup. You guys know that is totally not necessary. And, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for, everything that has happened here is because of our community. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for appreciating what we have done for the community, and thank you guys for supporting it. Head Like a Hole, thank you again. GT Thomas, every day is a gift. Treat it like it is. Divine 1122, light of love to all of you. 11. Ollie Pop, thank you. Juan Panda 89, Marf Familia putting in work in LA. So you guys are in LA. How is it there? Is it the videos I've seen is it's completely empty and I don't even see that here. I don't understand how all of the freeways are just completely empty. Are they more draconian there? I don't get it. How are they keeping everybody from driving? Bogstown, Cutie Pie Angelica, Teresa 11, Lady Green Eyes, thank you guys for the lemons. Whitney 0109, today was a good day. Whitney 0109 didn't even have to grab their AK. Okay, I added the last part. Gem Bill Clemens 71, Sandra Lee, Grandma Sassy Pants, and Mad Cat Kitty Ophelia OK, and Trinity Red or Blue Pill Hi-Ho Kermit the Frog here. Thank you guys. Joe Dirt, Fed Up in Indiana. Again, thank you. Michael 44 says, Wichita, Kansas, social distances is extended to May 30th. Well, I guess Michael 44, I guess it's a good thing that it's just social distancing, right? Or is there more stuff that comes with that? Does that mean you have to stay in home as well? Juanita 541 says, is this D-Live thing with Marfoogle family ending? ? No, not necessarily. Grandma Sassy Pants, Dim-Witted Toast, Memory 66. Thank you guys for the lemons. There's a lot of things going on here, and it says Alex Galagos says Atlas T-Man invented the first celestial sphere, Space Force, in the Titanmachy Olympian Rep Titan Dem War. He was condemned for life. Titanomachy. I think I'm saying that right. Titanomachy. Dex, I don't know if you can kind of understand that. I guess I'm confused. Maybe I should know. And then thank you, Alex, again. Mosquitoes and Butterfly Type of Life. It's 12 a.m. here in New York City. Happy birthday, Marf. May God bless, protect, and guide you always. Thank you for your work. Well, thank you guys. Heavenbound 813, thank you for sticking with me for nearly 2 years. Third birthday I've celebrated with you. 3 years. Happy birthday from Arizona. That is flippin' awesome. the best community in the world. Spartan 10mm. Thanks, Marf and Dex, for all you do. Happy early B-Day, Marf. If it wasn't for this show, I wouldn't have got all the preparations to keep my family comfortable. God bless y'all and the fam. Support Second Amendment. Harsey Gonzalez, thank you guys. Molly 2512. Winsome is an actual word. It means attractive or appealing in appearance of character. And I agree, you are. Thank you, Molly. Susan Perez, happy B-Day. Lady Green Eyes, can't get Discord. Thank you. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you. Now check this out. It says astronomers have found a star that survived being swallowed by a black hole. Now I put this up on Twitter and I kind of got some good feedback on it. Some think, and this was an email I got, and it was actually, it was kind of backed up by an expert at Harvard, saying that maybe it wasn't a star. What could actually survive being pulled into a black hole? Possibly something with propulsion. So they said, and this is just their opinion, is that possibly this could have been some sort of planet that had a propulsion system that was actually devised. And it was quite interesting to see their thoughts on it, and to think that there was kind of an alternate dimension where this was an Earth with a propulsion system. And they even quoted a film that was on Netflix of this, I can't remember what it's called. It's kind of an end of the world movie, but in a futuristic world where the world has to move away from the sun because the sun is expanding. It's a new one, but it's subtitled on Netflix. I watched it and I thought it was pretty interesting. And it was, I want to say it was either Chinese or Japanese, and it showed huge rockets being constructed on Earth and basically pushing us away from the sun. Because in one actual theory, the sun is expanding, and at some point it will get so hot that we will not be able to live on Earth. That is one of the kind of end scenarios for us, and something that our future ancestors might actually have to deal with. So in this scenario, they have to build these giant engines, and it says that every country in the world came together to build these basically rockets on the Earth to propel us away from this thing. Somebody said that it's almost like that was kind of played out here, where this star or planet was pushing away and had such propulsion that it got away from a black hole. Most people would say that that completely goes against all laws of physics, but so do the UFOs in the confirmed Pentagon videos. So do we really know? Absolutely not. How would it survive being swallowed up? Don't know. It says when black holes swallow down massive amounts of matter from space around them, they're not exactly subtle about it. They belch out tremendous flares of X-rays generated by the material heating to intense temperatures as it's sucked towards the black hole. So bright we can detect it from the Earth. This is normal black hole behavior. What isn't normal is for those X-ray flares to spew forth with clockwork regularity, a puzzling behavior reported last year from a supermassive black hole at the center of a galaxy 250 million light years away. Every 9 hours, boom, X-ray flare. It says, after careful study, astronomer Andrew King of the University of Leicester in the UK believes he has identified the cause, a dead star that's endured its brush with the black hole, trapped on a 9-hour elliptical orbit around it. Every close pass, a periastron, a black hole, slurps up more of the star's material. This white dwarf is locked in an elliptical orbit close to the black hole, orbiting every 9 hours. At its closest approach, about 15 times the radius of the black hole's event horizon, gas is pulled off of the star and into an accretion disk around the black hole, releasing X-rays, which the two spacecraft are detecting. It says the black hole is the nucleus of a galaxy called GSN 069. aka Game Show Network 69. And it's pretty lightweight as far as the supermassive black holes go, only 400,000 times the mass of the sun. Even so, it's active, surrounded by a hot disk of accretion material, feeding into and growing the black hole. What do you guys think of black holes? I know that a lot of folks don't believe space in general, but what about like black holes and things like this? Do you guys, that goes against physics, does it not? Or did they include that into physics? You know what I mean? Like, how do they say that this black hole of antimatter sucks everything in? It's crazy that matter itself and atoms and all these things that they say were made out of is, just fact and true. It's pretty nuts to think that, what CERN is doing, they've actually listed is they think that we might actually be able to time travel. That is one of the goals that some of those guys have said that they have. Other than that, putting these atoms, essentially doing the same thing that they say happened in the very beginning, right? They say that they're, smashing together the God particles. It's crazy. Amber Subaru WRX, thank you for supporting and thank you for being here for a very long time. Appreciate that. Says, I love this show. Buffering is a part of the game. Well, you never know what we're going to be talking about, that's for sure. Johnny Rax, thank you. I appreciate that. Again, Johnny Rax, pimping you out with diamonds. Well, thank you, but I'm more of an opal kind of gal. Happy Adam early B-Day, brother. Wishing you the best. Shout out for Harry the Rabbit, your loved buddy. Memory 66, thank you. And love when people connect their screen names. Didn't know, happy anniversary on your escape from. I'm happy to have come across your kind self, HBD. Zippy, thank you. I appreciate that. Zippy, glad to have you here, and thank you for being a streamer that supports other streamers. I really appreciate that. If you guys haven't checked out Zippy on DLive, all you have to do is type in Zippy or click on his name. Sandra Lee, happiest of birthdays early. Chips are falling. Happy birthday from bitch-ass Barbara in Florida. That was an awesome week on Twitter, by the way. Thank you. All right, Ed Brown, thank you. Thanks, Adam and Dex. You guys reinforce my prepping motivations, and thanks in large part to you guys, myself, and my family will not only survive, will thrive. Much love. God bless, and be safe. Thank you, Rick B., and thank you for sticking around for how, I don't even know. Some of you guys are 3-year watchers. So B&B, you have been around a long time as well. Thank you for the generous super chat of $20. Jules B., watching the sky tomorrow night from wide open skies of Nebraska. So much wind, CV can't survive. Jules B., good luck with the sky watching or the end of the world. Dorker Pong, thank you. I appreciate that. Alex Galagos, thank you. What do you guys think of this asteroid? Do you guys think it's going to hit? Do you think it's going to come in? They've said previous asteroids were going to safely pass us by, and those asteroids just hit recently in the Caribbean. So is there really a way to know for sure? No. But again, that's where it comes back to, I guess, living life to the fullest and not being afraid of when it does end, because we don't know either way. Even if it wasn't for some mass cataclysm of the Earth, it could just be a bus and crossing the street. It could be a car crash. It could be, a heart attack. Whatever it may be, a lot of us have not accepted that fact. And we were born to leave this planet. So I guess it's one thing about acceptance. Some people call our show fear porn, but those are people that have not watched the show long enough or are easily susceptible to getting scared. They're probably the same people that watch horror films even though it doesn't make them feel good, but they do it anyways because of the excitement. I don't know. But again, if you confront these things and if you face them face on, face off. Padawan. I just think I mixed like 3 cliches there, but if you face it right to its face, something like that, you guys get what I mean. Then you get over it, and it's not scary, and it's not fearful, and it's not being afraid of these things. It's actually looking them right in the eye, there's the right one, and confronting them, just like they do in any kind of fear therapy. If it's fear of heights, they put you up high up. If it's fear of spiders, they put a spider in your hand. with this kind of stuff, this is stuff that we have to think logically for. When a major disaster happens, like the one that everyone has agreed upon, Cascadia subduction zone in the West Coast, when that happens, we will have a 9.0. It will be the worst disaster United States has ever seen next to a virus, and that will literally knock out the entire West Coast. When this happens, you have to be ready and already thought about it many, many times. There's a reason why the military and why the government drill constantly. And why do soldiers do it? Because it gets them in the mind frame for when it does happen, they don't even think about it. They practice, they practice, they practice. And when the real thing hits, they don't freeze up and they know what to do. That's exactly what we have tried to do for over 2 years here on this channel, almost 3 now. So please make sure you understand what our purpose is here and what we're doing. If you guys want to support us in a different way and protect yourself, this is one of the things that the U.S. government and our military is protecting themselves from. In fact, they're using a very, very similar name. Actually, they're using these guys. EMP Shield is Keystone tested. It is an actual device that grounds the signal from an EMP. It can block against E1, E2, and E3. That's all 3 phases of an EMP. And it will actually save your devices. You can't exactly put your house in a phase, so there is a better option. It's the same option that, DOD, DHS, and now Texas formerly has EMP Shield actually on their DEMSO team protecting the Texas grid. These guys are still selling consumer devices. Because of their new contracts, they made sure to let us know that they are not going to stop selling consumer devices, whereas they very well could. In fact, these guys, the owners, they could live the rest of their life off of their government contracts, but the owner has said it many times that he would like every American to have this in their homes, on their cars, on their solar systems, on their ham radios. They have many different devices. Again, you definitely want to check them out. That is, again, EMP Shield, marfooglenews.com/EMP Shield. All right, with that being said, make sure to check us out on Twitter at Marfoogle. We're going to get the phones open. We already have a full docket of callers here. At Marfoogle is where you can get a bunch of notifications. You can get my personal opinion on stuff. I really don't. I do a lot of stuff that is more opinion based rather than just showing you what's up. That's where a lot of my opinion comes out in short form in 160 characters or less over there on Twitter. All right, and again, you can go to our main channel. A lot of people forget. You're watching this on Marfoogle TV at 116,000 subscribers. We also have the main channel, which we're trying to revamp and do shorter form videos. That was the whole purpose of it in the beginning. Short 10 minutes or less videos that kind of bring down a lot of this 2.5 hours into consumable content that you can actually share. You can't exactly share a 2.5 hour show to somebody who doesn't know us. They're going to go, I don't know this guy, and they're going to click somewhere else. If you share a 5-minute video with them, it's much more likely to get across the point, and a more specific point at that. So make sure to check out Marfoogle News. It is at 155,000 subscribers and growing. Thank you guys for supporting the entire way through. All right, let me close some of this other back stuff. We're going to get the phones going. It looks like we have several people here. We've got Jay Pizzle on deck. Jay Pizzle. It says he wants to talk about technologies soon to be released and Navy disclosing videos, aka disclosure. So this is going to be an interesting call for sure. All right, so let's get to this. And Jay Pizzle, you are live on Marfoogle News. What is going on?
Hey, Mark, what's going on? First and foremost, let me give a shout out to Dex, the Marf fam, the Marfoogle fam, and yourself. Adam, happy birthday, my brother.
Well, thank you very much. And it says you want to talk about the disclosure and kind of the stuff that's going on right now with UFOs and things like that.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of try to put it in like a step thing. So before we had our you couldn't research everything you wanted, or you couldn't speak of the things that you wanted. Our president, POTUS or whatever, he disclosed it, opened it up. Now we all could pretty much speak what we want to say. We've been practicing in the dark because we're trying to get rid of these certain people that are not from here, who ruined society from the beginning. Where, just think about this: that Eve bit the apple. What's the logo on the phones that control everybody's head? You know what I mean? So it's very simple. If we're practicing in the dark, it's because we have to go underground tunnels to be able to release the technologies from these entities. Another thing too, you said that all these high elites and stuff, they're have all these different schedules. Well, these are all part of the same people who drink the adrenochrome and, sacrifice the Moloch and do all these crazy things to be able to gain things. From the beginning of time, we were good people, came here and tried to help us, and instead we chose to give people for technology. So from the beginning, it was kind of weird. But the golden age is about to come up. If you guys listen to the president himself, when his opening speech was that he was going to release new technologies for health. If you can look up Nisara and Jasara, I think I texted this on the last show. But if you look that up, you'll see that that's a way of also relieving the debt on all the worlds. So Nisara and Jasara, everybody should research a little bit of that. Now, when that changes, you have to understand, if we're able to gather this technology, we're able to be a type 1 civilization, meaning we will be living in harmony with our earth. That's the golden age. We just went through the tribulation. We just went through revelation. We just went through a pestilence. We just went through the swarm of locusts. We've been going through all these changes, but people are not paying attention to the real signs. I feel in my last dream, and I hadn't been dreaming in years. We're talking like more than 5 years. I hadn't had a dream, and lately I've been dreaming that this thing that's coming is it's not a comet. It's actually the disclosure where we're gonna end up meeting our galactic family. What's been not told to us from the beginning. And we'll be able to leave the 3D realm and maybe go up to at least 5D, because we'll all be living in harmony. If there's you got to think about this. To be able to do these things, you got to crash those that control us, which is, the petrodollar. If you can see, the petrodollar right now is down. When Mr. EpiPen, right? When Mr. EpiPen got locked up, what they do, they flooded Washington.
You want to know what's going on?
These people are able to control the weather. They're able to flood the same tunnels that all these entities are in, or where they have information. So this is a big opening. I believe that disclosure is coming. We'll be able to be relieved into new technology era. You know what I mean? And because that Chinese scientist, I believe it was Emoto, who sent the harmony through the water crystals and was able to change certain things. So if you increase certain sounds to megahertz and all that stuff, you're able to also cure certain things inside the body. Same thing with UV light, and make sure everybody right now is at home. They don't want to go outside, but make sure everyone gets at least 15 minutes of sun. Sun provides vitamin D. This vitamin D is what you need to be able to also fight, all these viruses and stuff going on.
Well, so Jay Pizzle, these are the kind of, I hear a lot of people that, I almost think you should almost have your own channel and start talking about this kind of stuff. And I'm sure there's a lot of people, as I know from getting a lot of emails, that agree with you. Sometimes I don't get why people that, are so into this don't go out and speak their mind. you should definitely join the Creators Corner and get a couple channels going. As far as the sun and exposing yourself and things like this, there have been many theories about, why they want us inside, most of them revolving around CV. And again, our place is not to say that that's not what it is, but, there's tons and tons of different things that people can look up there. As far as the rest, the Nashara and Gisara, we will make sure that we put some links to some of this stuff there so people can look at it for themselves, so they can have access to that. Jay Pizzle, is there one more thing you want to say before you go? We did reach our time limit here.
Definitely. I just want to make sure that, first and foremost, God bless all of us as, a whole world in place. And I want just people to know that while everyone is at home, there's those who are fighting to be able to get our freedom. So tonight when you go to bed, make sure, you said a little prayer for those who are forgotten, for those who are fighting the darkness with light that get no shine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I do. And thank you so much for calling in. A perfect outro there. So thank you, Jay Pizzle. We appreciate your calls. Again, I think that was your first call. So let's see here. We've got on deck somebody who is many times on the show, Snafu Snaps. If you liked Jay Pizzle's call, please let us know in the comments below. Vote on it in the chat. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear you guys and your opinions about the different scenarios. If they share something that I've never heard, I love hearing about that kind of stuff. So please make sure you let it known that you know about that or you agree or disagree. Snafu Snaps, you are live on Marfoogle News. What is going on?
The big Foog and fam. Much love, man. I just wanted to call real quick because a lot of us really love you, man. And we put something for your birthday, a little special gift for you. And it's on my channel if you want to watch it. And it took a lot of work. And I just want to say there was a few people that couldn't do it because of technical difficulties or deadline issues. But this is coming from the heart with all of us. Jay Stone did a beautiful job, and it's a present from us to you, and we love you, man. Keep doing you, brother. That's the truth, yo.
Okay, so I've got a link here. Is this what it is? So let's see.
Yeah, happy birthday, man.
All right, let's play it. You guys always do sneaky stuff. Okay, hold on.
Like your ninjas.
Hold on one sec. Let me make sure that I've got this muted. Boom. Okay. Let me start it over.
Mr. Marfoogle, Mr. Adam, let's get this party started. Happy birthday.
You. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Foogle.
Happy
To you. And many more.
We love you, Adam.
Oh man, thank you so much. Thank you guys. I almost want to. I'm trying to see. I know I saw. Thank you guys. I didn't even know you guys were doing this. Let's see. Thank you, Snafu Snaps, Pagan 11. I know I saw April Osborne, Lisa R Hall, J Stone 78. Rip Curl.
We had a bunch too, Adam. We had a few people that couldn't do it because of technical issues or deadline issues, but this was coming from the heart, from just all the hard work you put together. And I know you got a family and a real life too, and we just want to say happy birthday to you, brother. Another year down, man, and we love you, man. And J-Stone did a beautiful job, and the fam did an awesome job, and it's all because you helped us unite, man. So we love you, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much, Snafu Snaps. And Snafu always does this kind of stuff for everybody. It's not just for me. He does it. He's done it for countless other people. He's done videos. He always gets everybody together. CJ Blaze, thank you so much. Let's see here. We've got Bones, Eric
Rip
Elliott.
Curl made his debut interview.
I know I've never.
Rip Curl's in there too.
I know I've never seen Rip Curl do anything outside of on audio. Bones.
Oh, you got to watch the quarantine shout out. We did quarantine shout outs. Rip Curl was in that one too. He's pretty. We got to get him on sooner or later. But no, man, the family you have is just amazing. You're amazing. Everyone loves you. And I just want to say special thanks. And to those who couldn't be part of it because of the deadlines or issues or technical difficulty issues, this is coming from all of us, even the ones who, didn't even know about it. This is from us to you, bro.
Vlad, who has been a part of the fam for a long time. Kitty, thank you so much for making an appearance. West Virginia Prepared Mind, thank you. Ethan, thank you. Dex, thank you. Dex looking great. Awesome. Love it. Trucker JP, been along for a long time. I love that he just did a horn there. 11 Pagan 11, thank you. I love that you did the confetti. Lynn Ann, Smoky Mountain Gal, thank you guys. Smoky Mountain Gal, thank you. You guys are all freaking amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better community, and I'm very surprised all the time. Like, you guys amaze me every single day, and the things that I hear, the relationships that I've started out of this, the people that have been married from this group, people have been married out of Discord. Now they're living together. Some of them even having kids. A couple of them pregnant, and I'm just like, this is absolutely nuts. I never would have thought. 3 years ago, sitting in my break room when my sister told me that, that a bunch of people in Hawaii saw something flash above Hawaii, that I would be sitting here right now and know all of you amazing people. So I do believe that things happen for a reason, and I believe that, we're all put here for a purpose. And my purpose was to bring all of you guys together. So thank you so much, Snafu. Is there anything else you want to say before you go?
Yeah, man. I just want to say Chicago came out. I had a clip, but I'll do it a different night. But like I said, they said they got the needles. They said they got the ways of how they're going to do it. The film's out there. The optics are high, guys. And I just want to say it's because of people like you, Adam, that are the Paul Reveres in today's age, and just keep doing it up, man. No matter how hard and stressful it gets in life, we love you, man. And you are doing something very important in today's day and age, as well as everyone out there, speaking their truth, as I call it. But no, man, can't be more happier to be part of the fam. So thank you. Thank you.
It really blows me away. Like, we are doing some crazy stuff. I mean, people are meeting all over the country under this channel, and it's really crazy to see the people that say that they weren't affected whatsoever about the shortages that we keep getting hundreds of times over. I couldn't,
Right.
I couldn't feel better
Right.
about
And we
you guys.
got boots on the ground. We got boots on the ground. You got people sending you pictures and videos. I do too. Everyone. I mean, the intel and the information is just massive compared to the narrative with what is going on, and that's why we do is very important for media platforms. And I want to tell everyone also, you guys need to go on Twitter, blow it up, because I think that, and I'm going to say this this isn't Adam. He's not saying this isn't Dex, but platforms like DLive and other platforms, they need to look at freedom of speech and treat people fairly. And it's all platforms at this point. It's not just DLive, it's YouTube and Facebook. So I encourage you guys to get out there and tweet things to these platforms and let them know, freedom of speech, even though they're private companies, loophole law type stuff, but it's getting out of hand. And these platforms do control elections. They do control mass thought, and they control the narrative of so much news, whether it's fake news or true news. So, I mean, it's important to us as the people, to, stick up for our rights. And so thank you, brother, and happy birthday.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, brother. And you have a great night, and God bless. All right. You have a good one. Dex, I didn't know you guys are always plotting. I kind of knew something was up. You guys.
Yeah, well, the credit goes to the Snaps, the crew, Jay Stone. Those guys they're the plotters.
Well, thank you, especially Jay Stone. Thank you guys. Thank you, mods. Before the event happened, before CV happened, I talked with my mods every day, and I kind of put out a tweet letting people know, and it was towards multiple, not towards you, Jay, but towards just everybody, because a lot of people were saying, and I hear things, everybody talks and everybody emails, and they were saying I was less accessible, but all of us are trapped in, and nobody is excluded. So like me being trapped in my house with my 3 kids, it turns into just drama, and it just turns into all this stuff, even at home, just people, especially when you have kids that are wanting to go outside, want to go to the park, want to go here, want to go there. When you keep a 5-year-old inside, it's really hard. And then we still have, we have our newborn baby, she's not exactly new. She's about 9 months old now, and it's just it's stressful. So I have spent a lot of time just trying to keep the household together because of all the stuff going on. So I just haven't had time for a lot of people, and when I do have time, I'm usually multitasking and doing other things. So I can't wait for this thing to end. I hope it ends. I hope I'm wrong about a lot of stuff. And we need to all team up, especially us streamers too. If you guys are streamers out there and I missed you, I apologize. I know that, especially over on DLive, it's like a lot of streamers go over and support other streamers. They come in. If I missed you, I apologize. I really do, because it is incredibly important to me over here that you guys know that I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we need to come together, even of those of us who don't get along. Just put it out of the way. Like, we need to be a really tight-knit community, especially in a small community like that. Ollie Pop, thank you. April Osborne, love you. Adam, happy birthday. Thank you guys for everything. And then End Times, you guys have been absolutely nuts. Blue Knight, Amy R, and End Times have all 3 just gone crazy. Tuck Pup has gone crazy. I believe all 4 of you did Ninjets, which is totally way too much. Thank you guys for supporting our streams. End Times just like fell off a cliff and went nuts. So did Blue Knight. Amy R has been off the cliff for a long time. But the thing is I guess I appreciate it for those who can, that do support our channel, because we've gone through so much crap. We're constantly adjusting to everything. It seems like every time we get ahead, something pulls us back. Every time we're close to getting to the next step, we get pulled back. And Dex knows. Dex, we've had to go we've had to change everything so many times just to stay relevant and to stay going uphill. I mean, it's nuts.
It would be so nice if it was just a simple recipe and you just do this and it works, but you have to stay on your game, and it's constantly changing.
I mean, all the platforms.
And stuff that you wouldn't think you'd have to deal with, we have to deal with because of this niche.
Like, people don't see what goes on behind the scenes. You know, some people have said, like, we'd love to see what happens behind the scenes. It is, sometimes it can be absolute hell. I mean, especially when you're dealing with a lot of people that have different views. As far as our Discord took like 2 years to get in line. Everybody always fought. I mean, you know, one issue after another. And I really thank the people like Clan Mama and a bunch of the people that are mods in Discord for essentially keeping down. I mean, think about it. If somebody gets in an argument and you have to kick one person, think about managing 15,000, all of the disagreements, and then you have to judge who is right, who is wrong, who needs to be booted. And then once you boot them, they turn into a permanent troll. And they're only being a troll because they're hurt. They're feeling defensive. They feel like they were right. I mean, you got a lot of strong opinions in this area. And it's like, we're trying to go step by step by step. And it's, to us, it's like we help 5 people out while pissing off one. It has to happen. We have had to explain over 2.5, 3 years why we do filtering and stuff like that for certain platforms, because we continue to grow and we bring people in, and then in Discord they have freedom of everything. In all of these other places, you know, you can end up getting so much more information out if you do that, and you can actually be recommended and get to that bigger audience. And I feel like I've been guided the whole time, and it's not my brain, it's something above. So thank you guys for all coming out and like just absolutely blowing everything out of the water. We have up next, we have Cosmo. Cosmo, you are live on Marfoogle News. What's going on, Cosmo?
Your birthday. Happy. I hope it's been for you.
Well,
you having a good night?
Huh?
Are you having a good night?
I'm having an amazing night. It couldn't get any better.
Good. Good news. Great to hear.
I wanted
couldn't ask for anything less. Thank you.
Now, Cosmo, it says that you wanted to talk about the lab receiving funding and the Japan quake of 2011. How did you possibly bring those two together?
Oh, that's a fun story. I've actually been one of the only people I've ever met to acknowledge it, so I'm actually excited to share this with you. It was through the help of a couple of different phone calls that had come through. There was a call probably about a week and a half ago. A guy named Eric had called in, and then shortly after, you had Trinity, red pill, blue pill, Hi Ho Kermit the Frog call in shortly after.
That was a great call.
Through the research she had connected from the call Eric had done previous to hers, through videos that she herself had put out, had brought up the connection of the radon gas coming up through the ground. And I'm just curious about some stuff. I wasn't exactly allowed chemistry class in high school, so I looked up radon gas and, well, exactly how does that stuff come up? And come to find out, it's a natural byproduct of the decay of a product called radon. And no, not radon, I bet, radium. And radium is a material that is commonly used as the cores for different nuclear reactors. Now, whether or not we can find out what kind of reactors have, what kind of material is their core, that's classified, that's cool. So back when the Fukushima event had become news, oh no, breaking, there's a reactor having a problem right now because of an earthquake. We're all still trying to figure out how to manage in our minds. When it cracked open, there was a heat wave here in America about 2 days after. And the only reason I was able to observe that was because the day after the earthquake, I was doing some research on some private security agreements, some money being exchanged during the time that Obama was going around in those countries, the various political states over in the Asian area. And he was making a lot of the peace, he was doing a lot of the peace talks for the Trilateral Commission was trying to get going at that time. And through a lot of these agreements, there were a lot of research grants that were like put on. You know, there was a lot of like more communal economic happening inside of the Asian countries because Obama went over there and got everybody to start shaking hands and, you know, let your researchers work with their researchers and stuff. But anyway, while I was looking up the paper trail of the money that was used to pay the security forces to help oversee and facilitate those exchanges, I had found a side link that told me about the Fukushima reactor. And this was the day after the earthquake. So I'm not thinking nothing special of it. I checked it out and, well, yeah, the earthquake happened yesterday. Yup. It would make sense that a reactor would get all shaken up if it was right on the coast. Okay. Looks like they're having problems with that. I should check in with it in about a week. And it was the day after that, I was in my backyard hanging out with a couple buddies of mine. And it was just like unnecessarily hot for the season and where it was in the season. Like there was no reason the heat wave that came by should have come by. It was like a really abnormal type of heat that just everybody was complaining about in this, just like, it's so uncomfortable right now. And just like something that a lot of people were like, I don't remember summer feeling like this, you know? And okay. So then I checked in a couple weeks later and, well, you know, during the entire time Japan was pouring seawater all over the reactor to try to keep it cool, to keep it from, you know, going off. And, they ran out of money to keep funding that. That would oops. And so they let it go. And conveniently, 2 days go by, and another heat wave. Except that one lasted a week. And I'm just thinking the whole time, is this like radioactive fallout literally dusting over the entire country because there was a heat wave. You know, about what was it, 3 weeks after the reactor actually got cracked after the event of the earthquake. And it was just really bizarre. But anyway, so during the time that I observed the peace talks going over being done by Obama for the Trilateral Commission, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that those agreements and those arrangements at that time were the footstones that legally were necessary in order to allow the types of necessitable funds and grants to be allocated towards something that would have been like a research facility of a level 4 class that would have potentially had an accident. And I mean, not to mention the fact during Obama's election year back in 2008, it was on the docket whether or not we wanted something that was referred to as human embryonic stem cell research legalized. And a lot of people were very excited. Brand new medicine, yay! This is going to change lives. And I was the guy in the corner going, this is something out of a horror movie or some weird video game out of the 90s. What's going on right now? Why would we vote for that? It just, you know, things that had happened. And, you know, so like really to hear the touchback to that area having this kind of a problem to me is just kind of like, like validation to why those things were at the time what I felt were just things that I was just casually taking in. Like, oh yeah, look at that. It's like all these years later, whoa, look at that. Oh my. So yeah, just figured I'd point that out for you.
Well,
like, you know,
so something that I pulled up is sciencealert.com, which is actually one of the approved sources that Alphabet Group actually pushes. And it says, new research suggests that these rays are capable of seeding clouds with their radiation bursts, affecting weather conditions and even change in the climate in the long term. So that was back in 2017.
Nice.
It says cosmic rays could influence. So I could see how any kind of radiation could potentially affect the world. They said back when the whole Chernobyl thing happened that there was this weird feeling, like people could feel it even though they couldn't see it or anything else. They felt like they were heating up. So I don't know if that's the case. Again, I would suggest that everybody go do their own research on that and take everything with criticism.
There's an interesting counterbalance that goes along with these kinds of events too. Like with the Chernobyl case, once the toxicologists went out from the USSR to go monitor how much damage was really done, they found a village at the closest proximity to ground zero, that highest level of contaminations, and they're having but they were like some of the healthiest people in the population per capita across all of the people that were affected, because they were drinking this, or at least the toxicologists believed it was because they were drinking this weird fermented mushroom pancake tea thing. And it just astounded people. They were like, I don't understand how these people are even alive here, but they all have this unique drink that is helping us. So there's always an interesting counterbalance whenever we see these kinds of events. And I just kind of couldn't help but notice and wonder if a little bit of extra radioactive dust might not be necessary for proper cell mutations for whatever human embryonic stem cell research project might have decided to go for a walk.
Well, Cosmo, it's always a pleasure to have you call into the show. I appreciate you. Also, I sometimes have to.
Thank you guys very much for having me.
Of course, I sometimes have to listen to the calls back to get it, because I've got so many things going on. So I'm gonna have to definitely with Trinity's call as well. So that was a very in-depth one, and I ended up watching the whole thing on her channel.
Oh, that was a great show. Shout out to her and props to you, girl. Thank you very much for putting that work out there. That was a nice nugget of information to chew over. I had at least 3 cups of coffee to go with that one.
Well, thank you, Cosmo.
Cool. Thank you guys very much.
You have a great night.
Have a blessed night, guys. Get some good sleep.
All right, you too.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. What he's referencing too is that the video that Trinity put out. Trinity's been a longtime mom, but she's also a creator. She has one thing that Trinity has done is that she actually talks about in the video that she used to do modeling and stuff and this and that, and that people never they took her at face value, and she is incredibly smart, and you'll see that from many of the videos. She actually purposely, some folks don't show their face because they're insecure about their looks or something. She did it for the opposite reason, so people would follow her brain before making a judgment of what it looks. And what it did is that everybody understood that she was incredibly smart, probably Mensa smart, and people realized how smart she was before they saw what she looked like. And she did this incredible video on talking about the radon levels and things like this. I had her call in, but of course I've got all the things dinging and things going off, and I didn't and I even told her, I said, I'm gonna have to go back. So I ended up going back, and as I'm watching it, I found myself commenting like every 2 minutes, like, oh my gosh, this and this, and then I would comment again. I don't know, have you ever guys watched a YouTube video where it's kind of a longer video or something, and you comment and like it's a live show or something, and then 2 minutes later you're like, oh, and then you're like, I can't make 5 comments. In fact, I think YouTube even holds comments back if you make too many. So then I waited until the end to make my comments. I probably left 3 because I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. I think everybody's done it at one point or the other. End Times says, you missed my first jet, so here's a third. I wanted to say my son is 16 today. He is awake like me. Our children are our future. Wake them up to take the torch. So End Times, that's one of the best points is that our children and our children's children have to live with our decisions. And there are some cultures, which I've pointed out many times before, cultures like Japan that survived the 2011 earthquake, which we were just mentioning, because they signed checks decades ago, and this is how their culture is. They're all about family. They're about future ancestors and future generations. They signed the checks that actually made it to where the entire country was prepared for up to an 8.6 earthquake. a lot of people don't know this, but they did not know that that earthquake was going to happen. It wasn't something science even knew about before it happened. They didn't know that it was capable of a 9+ earthquake, or a 9.0 or an 8.9 or whatever it ended up being. But they still knew that it was very highly active for earthquakes. So they ended up making almost all of their codes way years before any other country up to withstand an 8.6. So that's why when you saw the 2011 tsunami and earthquake, all of these high-rise buildings were swaying because they were on these special foundations. And that is actually what saved countless lives. And how I bring that up, and how I actually bring that into things, is that Japan, one of the most prepared for earthquakes, had 15,000 perish during that event. And this was a all of a sudden event. People had 15 minutes and then it was go time. People lost their lives. It was a horrendous event. But when you compare that to, say, Boxing Day tsunami, where 250,000, essentially a city just wiped out, people died because of the building codes, and it was in a poor area, in many poor areas, in fact. But when you look at the Cascadia subduction zone, experts like Chris Goldfinger, he has his own TED Talk. He is the subject of the New Yorker article, The Really Big One. I have interviewed him at length. In fact, it was an hour and 30-minute interview that I did early on. And he said, he has been quoted as one of the top experts in the Cascadia subduction zone effort. And he says that Seattle and Washington and the West Coast is on a scale from 1 to 10 prepared for this Cascadia earthquake, that they are not even to a 1 yet. At least this was 2 or 3 years ago. So we have moved up that notch a little bit. They have brick reinforcers, these guys that go around and do unreinforced brick structures, and they go in and they actually rebar and put structure in, so they are actually better off. Because of the amount of brick buildings, everything that we have, nothing's to code, nothing's set up for an earthquake. It is going to be so much worse. And that's how I have kind of pitted against, and they say the estimated people that they say this is going to affect permanently is 15,000. And I say that doesn't make sense, because in Japan, 15,000 perished in one of the most prepared countries in the world. And you're saying that the country that is literally not even on a 1 yet is going to have that same amount of deaths. And you're talking about a tsunami that goes from Canada, from the very big, very end of Canada to the beginning of California, and will send a tsunami wave all the way through 3 states, is going to do the same thing. That's just plain crazy talk. So again, I started this channel, and I've done a lot of work trying to let people know on the West Coast that they need to have tons of preparation, but also you need to get your kids, your children, your children's children, you need to get them all prepared for absolutely anything, especially an earthquake. You need to have them drilled. In Japan, they sign checks decades in advance to make sure that their great grandkids are okay during disasters. We need to adopt more of that instead of some of the political stuff we do and put money into this and that. There's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of people, siphoning off funds, when those funds, those very same funds that get siphoned off to the big boys, that could go towards preparation for these disasters, which we only do things until after they have happened. So that's a point that I've made many times, and many people have wrote their governors, their senators about this since we started. So again, especially Washington, California, you have 21 states, and I've covered this, in fact, and with proof, that 21 states, one of the most famous, Arizona, preparing for mass migration of people after this earthquake. It happens on average every 240 years, and the last one was the year 1700. We know this for a fact. There's no debate. Everybody agrees. And we are sitting here at 2020, 320 years later, 80 years overdue, officially 80 years, and it's still not ready. So again, people can be ready. You can be ready. Anything is survivable within reason. And if you're at the base of, ground zero of a nuke, maybe not. But an earthquake, along with many other things, is survivable if you are prepared. So that is one of our main goals here, is to let you guys know that if 21 states, basically the whole left half, the whole West Coast is preparing for this thing, states that don't even have any effects of it technically are preparing for this earthquake that will be able to be felt as far as 3,000 miles away. So again, that's something that I think that even if you're in the Midwest, don't think it might affect you. I mean, that's how big it is going to be. And that's not to scare people, that's to prepare people. Let's see here. All right, so we've got the walking carpet galactic. You are live. What is going on?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Oh, you got some asteroid fun stuff. Okay, so what's going on with this?
Well, I've been kind of toying around with the asteroid notion coming along, because I've been following a couple of people who they have a cool theory, man. It has to do with the lunar roll, and having the lunar roll means there's something big out there, and with something big out there, that means there's a lot of little things out there too. And this Oort 2 that's flying by, this big old asteroid that everyone's talking about, this is just one that we see. And everyone talks about, the ones we don't see. Yeah, that's darn right. That's the one that's going to get us. That's the one that's going to blindside us, man. And it's just, I've seen a really cool falling rock that literally heard it. I smelled it. It came right over the house. It was going from south to north. It was blue and like a teal color and sparking, and you could see the smoke trail. It was like right above my head. It was the craziest thing I have ever seen in my life. Any lower, it would have literally probably skimmed right above my house. It was that. It was a falling. It was cool. But
what state was this in?
I see falling stars.
What state was this in, by the way?
Oh, I'm in Indiana.
Because I saw the same thing twice in 1 month. One of them seemed so low that it was as high as a kite. Like, if you had a kite all the way out on its string, that's how close it went over.
That's what this was.
In a Walmart parking lot. And what's funny is you see it and it looks that low, right? But then I'm assuming you saw it and it just kept going and kept going and kept going, like until you couldn't see it. Isn't that weird how it's at such a trajectory, it just keeps going? If anyone's ever seen this,
you think it's going to run into something, but it just keeps sound effects involved. Hey, that's what I do. But man, oh my God, it was the coolest thing I've ever experienced. As far as that telescope stuff, I've seen some neat things up above. But also this whole I don't know if you even touched base on this yet, but this whole lunar roll that we're checking out now, man. Give a peek at the moon. Watch if you can get it on a clear night. The northern hemisphere setup should stay northern hemisphere setup from when it comes across the sky all the way to when it sets. Well, apparently it's rolling. We'll see what the eastern people see. The dark part of the moon will be on the bottom. It's like rolling. And there's some people that have some theories about it and some people that have some other theories about it. And I'm digging on it now. It's interesting. What would cause that? Something big for sure. But what? That's the question.
So you're talking about a shadow, the shadow changing? I might be misunderstanding you. The shadow.
Oh, no. The actual moon itself. The moon itself is rolling in the sky. And I know there's got to be a logical explanation for it, but some maritime facts, the moon shouldn't roll in our night sky the way it is now. I don't know. Like I said, I'm looking into it. Hopefully I'll have a call back with some better information for it.
No, that's fine. And by the way, so you're not even at 100 subscribers right now. We're going to try to change that with a love mob. If you guys have not checked out the Walking Carpet Galactic review, what we're going to do is I'm going to, at the end of the show, probably by the end of the shoutro, I'm gonna go check in and I'm gonna see where we're at here. If you guys are over on that platform, make sure to go over and type this in. You can actually, in fact, all of the callers tonight will be on the website by the end of the show. I'll show you that at the very end, but we will actually have his link and everyone else's, including Snafu Snaps, anyone with a channel that does call in, we end up linking that on our website so you guys can explore and meet some new people. Walking Carpet Galactic Review, we've gotten, and I'm not saying this will happen, but in God's grace, if people feel like going over and if they liked his call, you guys can check out his videos. He's got awesome thumbnails, by the way. You guys can go and watch these videos. And hopefully we can get you to 1,000 by the time everybody's done watching the replay. We've done it in a single night, but we haven't had a love mob like we used to, where we would literally get people to 1,000 in a single show. So I hope that you guys have some love and head over to the Walking Carpet Galactic Review. Again, I already know. Look at that. Guys. And now 50 people have already gone over and subscribed. So you're already past your 100 milestone. You've got more Foogle family members on the way. Make sure to comment and tell them Marf sent you. So you do a lot of work, and I can see the work just by the thumbnails. I'm going to check out your channels, and I'm going to check out your videos. Is there one more last thing you want to say before you go? Walking Carpet Galactic Review.
Oh, man. Yeah, happy birthday coming, man. You know, we're getting up there. I just crested into my 40s. I know I'm a spring chicken, bagok. And I'll tell you, man, just everything gets better as you get older, dude. It really does. So keep pumping out what you're doing because you're an inspiration. You're the reason I'm doing what I'm doing. I started out with on my channel. I started out doing toy review stuff, not toy review, Star Wars stuff. But I love the news stuff. It's more invigorating. And seriously, man, big hugs. You're the reason I want to get more into it. And then, like I was talking about that moon thing, that's going to be my next thing I talk about on my show. So hopefully, if you guys have popped over, tell me what you want to know and want to hear about, and I'll investigate it. I love that. I'm a nerd. It's what I do. So
that's awesome.
To anyone out there who's a nerd too, let's hunt. Let's find this stuff. Let's unravel this onion.
Dude, I love your attitude. I am going to be the first one to be checking out your channel. And maybe you can come up, maybe you can do a report on this and then call back in and let us know what you find about the moon. What fascinates me is the crazy stuff that's been said about the moon in the last couple of years, some of the outages, some of the weird rumors that have gone around. So I'd love to see it. And again, you've already hit the 150 mark. So I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of Foogles coming over. And again, now you are at 271. So we might get you to that 1,000 by the end of the show.
These are like hugs, virtual hugs, Foogle fam. Bring it in. Come here. Okay. That's the best virtual Foogle fam hug I've got in me. Okay, guys.
Dude, I love this guy. You guys probably do too. You can tell when people like a caller. Well, thank you so much. The Walking Carpet Galactic Review. We're gonna check by the end of the show after the outro and pull you up and see if we can get you to 1,000 in the first in the time of the show. That would be nuts. We've got you a quarter of the way there. So. I bet you there's a lot of.
You give me to 1,000, I'll do the bathtub picture for you. Okay.
All right.
There it is.
That's a bet. All right. You guys have a great night. You have a great night, Galactic. Have a wonderful night, and much love to you. And hopefully we'll be working together soon. Okay.
Hey, think of my name. Think Chewbacca. There you go. Big, tall, hairy guy.
All right. Perfect.
Love you guys.
All right. Bye. Already to a 311. That is awesome. That's the Foogle fam love mob that I know. That's old school Foogle fam love mob. That's it right there. We're gonna again check in at the very end of the show, and then tomorrow we will give you guys an update. Man, oh man, you guys are all so awesome. Ed Brown, thank you so much for your support of their S Sabbath. Let me add this. Please say with echo. Have you yet seen Brenda Weltner? 3 raptures in parenthesis. Pappy Smurf Day. There you go, Ask Sabbath. Oh, Wise Owl from Europe. Happy birthday from Olipop. And again, oh Wise Owl, thank you again. Tiffany Nelson, thank you for subscribing. Viter Hugo, thank you for subscribing. Michelle Olson, happy birthday. Adam, thank you for all you guys do. I appreciate that. Michelle Olson, I should have said it Michelle. Beautiful spelling of it. Let's see here. Lots of new followers. Latanya Heaton is one of them. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the fam. Another new follower, James Nelson. We've got Steve B and Mr. Choose on Use. I love it. Thank you for subscribing. Mike Bradley, thank you for subscribing. Boo HCH, thank you for subscribing. World Profit Club, thank you for subscribing. We've got Drama Alert, thank you for subscribing. Let's see here. No way. Okay. What's up, dude? Thank you for subscribing, Keem. Let's see here. And then LK, thank you. I appreciate that. Sam 888888. Thank you. Big shout out to we're gonna hopefully try to get Secure Team 10 to come on the show. We don't know yet though. He did respond and he actually said he thanked me for all the kind words I said. He's gone through hell and back too. I don't get why people will judge without absolutely having proof of stuff, messed up stuff. So I'm just glad he's making videos again. I know that a lot of the YouTube community that has stuck with him, it's just not in my nature to judge people before knowing 100% fact. That's all I'm saying. We just need more I mean, what do you guys do when you're on YouTube? You look through these beautiful, amazing, weird videos. He's been there for a long time, so I don't know why you guys wouldn't, support, just keep creating. The thing is it's easy to come down on creators, but creators are the ones that keep all of us busy. They're the ones that we get to watch. So it's pretty amazing. Holy moly! Walking Carpet is halfway to monetization to 1,000. We could possibly change a life tonight, and that means, by the way, with YouTube especially, if you are not monetized, it is very unlikely that you're going to get farther. Once you get monetized, once you hit that 1,000 mark, you actually get put into algorithms because they get half of every dollar. It totally makes sense business-wise. In April of 2018, they changed a lot of rules. That's why you hear a lot of people complaining if they're not monetized, because if they're not monetized, they are not highly recommended. And that means they're not growing. Because, again, it's a business decision to make half of every dollar. And why would you push something that's not making you any money? Especially something that goes against what you believe in. A lot of the time, that's the case. But we don't pick sides here. And, again, it is an amazing, amazing time in history. So we're seeing a lot of new things. Dex, you've seen a lot of change over just the last year and a half you've been with me.
Oh, heck yeah, man. Well, the one thing I got to get out here. Everybody said it tonight. I haven't yet. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
I wanted to put that out there before the night was over.
I can't say I'm a third of a century. I'm halfway between a third and a 1/6.
You're trying to catch up with me, right?
I am. I'm trying to. But for some reason, you're always the same amount ahead of me. I don't get it. Manny P says, great show. HBD, prayers from San Diego. I don't have my 14-year-old to tell me what that abbreviation is. HBD. I could figure it out. Hold on.
I can tell you.
What is it?
Happy birthday.
Oh, so stupid. Happy birthday, HBD. I got it. Sorry, I've never shorthanded that. That's kind of like, if that was my family, and I love it because you guys got a certain limit, right? You have to keep your statement within a certain amount of characters. But if one of my family members, and watch, I'll bet my sister or somebody will say it just to say it now because I know they're watching. If they said HBD, I'd be like, you lazy mofo. Like, you don't call me and say happy birthday. You give me 3 letters and a pair of socks. Like, come on. Happy birthday, Adam. Keep fighting the good fight, says Capper85. Auntie M, thank you for the ice creams. Dream Tripper, thank you for the lemons. Miss Cortana, totally unnecessary. All of you guys that have supported tonight, all of you guys who have said happy birthday, all of the streamers that have supported me for GP and weren't asked. Like, these guys came out of the woodworks. People I didn't know watched the show. Saying, Mark for GP and things like this. I appreciate all of you guys. No matter what ends up happening, I do not forget people that help us along the way. It doesn't matter how big we get. We are the same as when we were small. We might change, a set or two. We might change the way we format our show, but we don't change. And especially Dex. Dex has helped me a lot during the way on this. So I just really appreciate it. Every one of you that has stuck with me, especially so many of the names that have come out tonight that I know by heart, not only because of the shoutros, but because you guys have been there for 3 years, for 2.5 years, for 2 years. And it is so hard to even have any kind of channel where people watch you for even more than a couple months. I understand that people, just in general, us as humans, we have a different kind of... we have a different attention span than we used to. And it might not even be about that. You might have the best attention span in the world. After 3 months of watching one person, you find somebody that's, the grass is greener over there. And you head over, and a lot of people have done that and then even come back. And I think that's amazing. It's very hard if you are anybody in the creation of these kind of things. You have to understand that, it's not easy. It's incredibly it's stressful more than anything else. Some of the drama that comes with, some of the attacks that come with. So I just it keeps us going when we hear all these positive comments. It keeps us going when you guys send email, and when you guys send mail and stuff and letters of endearment. A lot of people write just letters saying, you've changed our life, or you've helped us prepare, or we're fine now because of you. Thank you. Kelly, thank you. I got your card. Beautiful card, by the way. I appreciate you, and I thank you guys. I think the 2 folks, again, I'd love to know if I would love to say your names out loud. The people that sent me the wipes, after one slight mention that we couldn't find wipes in the store, and it was at a time when, we're using paper towels and wetting them down. Like, that was huge. That's something I don't know how many creators experience that kind of thing. Herd Bowl says, it's the big one, Elizabeth. Cutthroat Mom 5150 RN says, just one. Thank you for actually shooting out here and being here. Thank you for receiving a subscription from Memory. Thank you for being here to do that. And again, 5150 RN. So I guess you're a crazy nurse. Oh, I just put that together. Are you Crazy Nurse on YouTube? Memory 66. Thank you for gifting subscriptions. Nameless Block, Aussie's Walkabout. Thank you guys. And by the way, when you're on the platform with other people, if we end up, sometimes we host random people, make sure the best way to support a creator other than lemons and that is to subscribe. That actually helps them out a lot because it can get them to the next mark. It could get them to verified partner. Again, that is something that does matter a lot over on the DLive side. End Times and Blue Knight and Amy R. All of you. Amy R., of course, our #1 supporter this month. Thank you guys. Can't say enough thank yous to all of you guys that have helped. To all of you guys who have shared our stuff out. To all of you, there's people that have posted posters up on posts saying Google Marfoogle and things like this. Like, that's absolutely amazing. When I get a picture of that or somebody posts that, I'm just like blown away by the kindness and the love towards the Foogle fam and helping us out in general. Lady Green Eyes, we're family. Shoutro for some Ofer Shoutro song from us. Carol Moore, happy birthday to you. Well, thank you, Carol Moore. I appreciate it. Lady Green Eyes, again, you have helped me for 2 years. I was under an old name before. God is with us Canadians and all around the world. We can never thank enough. Thank you enough. A song for part of your shoutro tonight. We love you. Love you. Become Love to Know Christ says, happy birthday, Adam, and shout out to my teddy bear, Mark Anderson. I love you. Wait, so are you saying I love you to your hubby, teddy bear, Mark Anderson, or am I saying I love your husband? Either way, Mark Anderson, you're loved, period. There's no fighting it. You are loved. Rhonda Armstrong, thank you for subscribing. Sam888888, thank you for being here as well. LK, thank you. All right, you guys. Dex, you're a lovely man, but at some point, we just kind of got to go.
Hey, man. Happy birthday, and we love you.
Now it's officially time for, well, it's not an outro. It's not a shout-out. It's a shoutro. Where's the button again? Have a good night. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Foogle news, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news, Marfoogle news, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news. I love the way that you cut your mama all the way down. Memory 66 and Aussies walk about. The nameless block and Stephen one. Thank you for coming, everyone. And end times, I love you, bad Billy Buck Bop. Oh, Marfoogle news, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news. Chanted by you, Maui's racing, realtor Amber, Subaru, WRX, and thinking you, Twyla saying, and the rest. Oh, Marfoogle news, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news, Marfoogle news, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news. Feliz cumpleaños anum, says Miss Jackson 906. Your farm too, and the rest of you gotta hang out with Mr. Ducker Hot. A rebel romance with the Devon 122. Gotta bring that J-Store organ and that Gem Chicago artist. Gotta do it like the Ecto Bear. Marfoogle news, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news, Marfoogle news, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news. In times #1 for the stream, you've got the Blue Knight, Mr. Dream, Amy R.A.K. made a 70. Gotta go take it, turn it back up. Marfoogle news, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news. Tuck Pup Candy 44 and the rest you know. Tuck Pup in that gold. Hawks gotta bring it back like you a bad mofo. Marfoogle news, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news. Carol Palmer 512 and that end times Mr. 2 and Mr. Zippy Moons. Thank you. Marfoogle news, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle news. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going know that you've gotta be back down and you gotta see me too. You gotta bring it just like that, you know. You know that's how we roll.
West Virginia, put that line. From Rock for Life, lady, green eyes. Studio and Dabba, sexy, thank you. Jimbo and Limbo and Johnny Doom. I'm being bright, I thank you. I'm not the J-Stone. 78 in the walking carpet, galactic review. Awake till 7 and enchantify you. A red butterfly and your farm, just a cat mom. Gotta bring it back and now the killer bell is coming. Pop on a bear and I check the law. I'll bring it back around and you see cut the off. La 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 la. West 72 and beat cabs. Julie J and you Battle and Dale Firestorm. That's J and RSA. Echo Bear and Jolo Dirt and you left them is Marseille. Don't bring it back around and we will be here all day. They're number 92, and then you per girl. I know you cute and Studio just the same. That you bring it now we blew up all of your brains. PHX, you got the praise. Now it's buffering, isn't that unfortunate? You got to say, hey, got to go, baby. You're like, I love you guys. Get lost. You know it.
You know. You know it. That's the cowbell, if you didn't know. I know, cowbells have been gone for a very long time. Thank you, Seattle Starla. And Lucky Ticky, too. Memories, I Love Beagles, and a Cutthroat Mom. Juanita 41. Saws red. Or maybe it's SOS. I don't know. Grego 2, and someone named Shady. Diana Boss, A Positive Channel, and Rock for Life. Thank you all for being absolutely amazing. I'm going to pull up the Walking Carpet Galactic Review, and I'm going to comment. And I'm going to remember the names that went over there in Love Mob. Happy birthday to me. Thank Cutie for Eddie Deckard and Kathy Wyatt. All right, enough of that. Off to the blow, Mr. Kappa Chow. Stop it all. Stop the microphone. Start over the show. Someone was late. Mm-hmm. All day, I just wanna go back around. Do it all night. I just wanna go back around. Do it all day. I just wanna go back around. Do it all night. I just wanna go back around. Do it all day. I just wanna go back around. Do it all night. I just wanna go back around. Do it all day. I just wanna go back around. Zip Moons, cut on Mom, Trinity, and Lady Lexi, Jelly Boom, and no rest, they're gonna go back, they be sexy. Cutie, Kitty Katrina, gonna bring it back, and they look so mean. Got that promise here, and Sammy Lee, it's her birthday too. Fellow Tauruses and the Penelope crew. And somebody was late, so we're starting this thing right over. What's up? It's Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Just kidding. You know how we treat the ladies. That's not ladies, that's the late E's. It's what I call the late people. The laties. Get it? Just wanna go back around. Do it all day. I just wanna go back around. Do it all night. I just wanna go back around. Do it all day. I just wanna go back around. Juanita 541, thank you for being here. Lady Green Eyes, thank you. Going back round with the rest of the crew. Able Body and Rusty Bumper, that name this block and the rumper. Ogres and Ogres B, Channel Jammer and the Duty B. Got to see that PA with the Serenity right next to me. I just wanna go back around. Do it all night. I just wanna go back around. Do it all day. I just wanna go back around. Do it all night. I just wanna go back around. And the raw for life and the rest of us aiming for truth and the rest of them going out with Margie's every day. Oh, got that comments here, cutthroat mom's armor 9 to 5. Gonna bring it back now. We right now we gonna bring that satellite. Jim B. Cox, K. Dazzle, Anita Torres, 360. Thank you. You know it. Hi. What are you guys doing? You guys watching some sort of show? Watching some sort of show? I don't think so. all about the Oxy Greg and the Stormy 7572. Yeah. BG, BCJ, and the rest with the Shari one over the dome. James Shaw had it hanging out raw. Jerry Circle got the color purple. Abby G and the Johnny Doom. Oh yeah, with the Mr. K Dazzle too. Dum 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 dum, dum 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 dum. I remember this one. Let's do a little bit of this. Naming Spock in the rock list. WV and the pod list. Baby Kitty and Shannon Harris. Gonna bring the Station. Is gonna bring it down all night. Gotta love it right. But this isn't the one that I love. This is, I think. No. Maybe this one? No. That sounds like Cinemax. Hey, what's up? No, that's not it either. Might have to make one. Just off the top of the cup, we've got to show you some love. Thank you for all the happy birthdays. I just adore you. The walking topic, like the review. We're gonna check back on you. We're gonna see if you gonna get that monetized. And if you do, I will just go upside and fly. I just gotta be honest with you. You are my family. Priscilla and the Aussie Greg, Lucky Ticky too. A T-Bory and Cutthroat Mom and Psalm 95. Upper Osborne and Sherry Eddie, I'm Ocean Wife. Vlad Gruetz and able bodied, gotta say down. A Smoky Mountain gal. A Deborah Hibbert, gotta give you some love now. You're gonna bust right out with them Roxy lips. Okay, Channel Jim, you Shasty not need shit. Got that swarming 7572. KGBP's us got you into. Phil, Billy X, and the rest of my longtime crew. Shady J, Johnny Doom, Puka, and Peebo too. La 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 la. Gotta say it right next time. Oh, Mother says yabba dabba sexy. Jim, edgy, wailing, and Peggy Sue Frere. Thank you, quite contrary. I appreciate you, all of you, and Mr. No, and Priscilla, Cutthroat Mom, and Debbie O. I appreciate all of you. Amy R, a.k.a. Mini 70. Thank you for all of the love you sent us. Gotta bring back and now we say, oh, oh, oh. A blue night, you crazy, all three of you, whoa. A tuck pup, thank you for the jet, but it's not necessary. Share my stuff and don't be scary when somebody loves you. You've got that Foogle family, got to go and show it. Gonna bring it back, gonna bring it back, gonna bring it back all night. The nameless blog, NGO 22's gotta love you. Carrie S and all the bad Billy Bucks. The Miss Cortanas and the Cutthroat Moms, they are all the best. JPP and the Coffee Man, 420, thank you. For the lemons, each one counts, and I don't forget you. I just gotta say thank you, and all of you are appreciated. Enchanted by you, thanks for never being late. Elisa Forever Young, thank you. Trinity, red or blue pill, I hope Kermit the Frog here. Thank you for all the happy birthday wishes. Carol Moore, Lady Green, I say thank you. Rhonda Armstrong, Sam 88, 88, 88. LKN, John Adams, Liz LaMarche. Thank you for always being here, Summer Ellis. Summer Ellis, never forget, I love you. David and Nelson, Vita, Hugo, oh, wise owl. S.I. and Ed, Mr. Ed Brown. Jules B., Dr. Pong, and Alex Galagos. Then the Heaven Bounty 13, thank you, mosquitoes. You've been here all the time, means so much to me. Redbird, Deli W, Aliyah, and R.D. and Davis. A very special shout out to Susan Donahue. Christine Broderick, Nutsack 9909. Got to go and bring it back, you so fine.
I know if you could hear the beef, 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 I know down ba dee ba dee ba da ba down. If you could hear the beef, I know.
Hey, bad Billy Bob, you're gonna bring back with the Alyssa. I'm a warrior, T-Bori, and Alyssa forever young. Check a wall, bear love of 92,000, gonna bring it all day. KBB, thanks for being new to the family. Troy McClure, gotta see her. Gotta bring it all the way back down. Gotta turn that frown upside down. Gotta love the way that we love each other. And got to bring it back and thank you, brothers. Gonna love it all the way back down. Gonna love it all the way back down. Gotta love it all the way back down. Gotta love it all the way back down. I love all of you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I think so many of you know I mean that. To all of you guys that had come out in crazy numbers to support, thank you for all the happy birthday wishes, and make sure to join us on Discord. Make sure to get into your state groups. Make sure to not judge each other. Don't debate, conversate. Much love. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marv out.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle fam is waiting for you.
Come on, I know you can do better than that. I scared you, didn't I? Get her in. There's only 395 people that need to go to walk like go over there and subscribe. You know what I'm talking about? Cause he's 200 pounds of raw steel and sex appeal.
kicking it, cause hey, we need to check out the working car, big galactic view, and we gotta see it up to you. 605, 395, they're gonna bring it back. You gotta hang out, you got to support all of your friends and all of the love, and you know that I gotta bend the rule every once in a while. You got to bring the style, and you gotta do it every day, and gotta support everybody that you know. And yeah, we all were more like that. You know that we will go back down. Day. You know it. Hey, and if you support, thank you. I gotta love it. And if you ever really wanna bring it back around, and if you ever stuck around, you would know now that we gotta bring it back down. Oh, it's always gonna be the chillest you ever seen. Gotta bring it back around and ought to be great. And you gotta trim the colors and the love and the green. And if the Kira more really wanna bring it back down, and the Amy R.A.K. me the 70 and the blue nights and the top ups of the groove. And those mofos really wanna get at you. You just let them keep going, and they keep walking, and they keep on going. Hey, and if they really wanna keep trolling, they can keep on trolling. You know they gotta keep on trolling. Just you and move up, you gotta go. It's that beat like love that keeps it going, moving. Got to go back, and now we rule. We rule the way that we got to go back. Now you say everybody really wanna go with the deal like thunder rolls. We all gotta go back, and a few seconds ago they follow and they follow. They lead and they lead. Gotta bring it back, and now we see it's all about the love in the world. 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 Never get it twisted, never gonna get it with it. I'm never gonna go walking on the street without getting everybody knowing that I am your friend, and I am a lover, and I would never turn on you no matter what. And it's all about the love in the world. And if you really knew what it was like, you would come back and never ever fight, 'cause we would all be showing love to each other. And it's all about the love in the world. It's all about the love in the world. And if you knew the galactic review, you would know that we love people without even knowing them, 'cause we don't judge by the cover, we bring it back, and all of us are sister and brothers. It's all about the love in the world. And you know the thunder rose media's gotta bring it back like you never get it. Action, you gonna bring back, wanna go see it. And it's all about the love in the world. It's all about the love in the world. Thank you for supporting us all throughout the love and the light, and through the trouble and the hell we went through, and everybody that stuck all the way through and didn't judge me when all the crowd came out, and they made sure to stick around. And it's all about the love in the world. It's all about the love. It's all about the love in the world. It's all about the Foogle family. Gotta stick around, gotta stick around, gotta stick around. Oh. Thank you for sticking around through all of the blues and browns. pot, and the April is and the cathode mom loves the improv. Bring it back round, now you're gonna get robbed by the love mob, going on the love mob, going on the love mob, going on the love mob. And now you got to get the river's not full, you gotta bring it on your mountains full with the full, cause none of us are going hungry, cause the Lord has got us in the, and then I know that you're gonna bring it back around, and now you got your store, and you got to bring it, now you know, now you know, now you know, now you know,
Have a great night, folks. It's 2 a.m. in the East Coast and 11:16 West Coast. It's about time I say goodnight. Don't want to be going until my birthday, do I? Thank you, Rule T Casino, 99 fan. Thank you to all of those who did well in the chest. Unfortunately, I didn't see who did. Curly Q, 1971, Checo Jack, Cutie Kitty Katrina, Susie Touchstone, Susan Donahue, Seattle Starla, Gail Firestorm, James Shaw. Thank you for being here. A big shout out to our number one, Amy R, aka Mini 70.
Oh, we not done yet.
want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens?